out, silverware sharper than a switchblade. Cops on the block, slipping scents like a bloodhound. Sharp minds drawn where dreams get gunned down. Orders come quick, whispers in the steam rising. Crooked deals brew, truth drowning, no compromise. In this cafe and quaint, it's a scene out of nightmares. Mugs clink, but the sound's laced with despair. True crime cafe where secrets spill like cream. Every sip a confession, every cup a scream. Tables hold stories soaked in guilt and grime. Bagel serves the brew, murders keep the time. Menacing the code, specials written in blood. Today's dish, betrayal, served with a grudge. Bagel in the back, flipping pancakes with a snarl. Bullet holes in the walls, paint a mural that's dark. Customers in shadows, faces blurred like a dream. Conversations and whispers, plotting schemes unseen. This ain't your local diner, this is Hell's Canteen, where your last meal's a latte and regrets the cream. True crime cafe where secrets spill like cream. Every sip a confession, every cup a scream. Tables hold stories soaked in guilt and grime. Dago serves the brew, murders keep the time. Blood on the menu, coffee served blacker than a night raid. Knives out, silverware sharper than a switchblade. Cops on the block, slipping scents like a bloodhound. Sharp minds drawn where dreams get gunned down. Orders come quick, whispers in the steam rising. Crooked deals brew, truth drowning, no compromise. In this cafe and quaint, it's a scene out of nightmares. Mugs clink, but the sound's laced with despair. True crime cafe where secrets spill like cream. Every sip a confession, every cup a scream. Tables hold stories soaked in guilt and grime. Bagel serves the brew, murders keep the time. Menacing the code, specials written in blood. Today's dish, betrayal, served with a grudge. Bagel in the back, flipping pancakes with a snarl. Bullet holes in the walls, paint a mural that's dark. Customers in shadows, faces blurred like a dream. Conversations and whispers, plotting schemes unseen. This ain't your local diner, this is Hell's Canteen, where your last meal's a latte and regrets the cream. True crime cafe where secrets spill like cream. Every sip a confession, every cup a scream. Tables hold stories soaked in guilt and grime. Dago serves the brew, murders keep the time. Blood on the menu, coffee served blacker than a night raid. Knives out, silverware sharper than a switchblade. Cops on the block, slipping scents like a bloodhound. Sharp minds drawn where dreams get gunned down. Orders come quick, whispers in the steam rising. Crooked deals brew, truth drowning, no compromise. In this cafe and quaint, it's a scene out of nightmares. Mugs clink, but the sound's laced with despair. True crime cafe where secrets spill like cream. Every sip a confession, every cup a scream. Tables hold stories soaked in guilt and grime. Bagel serves the brew, murders keep the time. Menacing the code, specials written in blood. Today's dish, betrayal, served with a grudge. Bagel in the back, flipping pancakes with a snarl. Bullet holes in the walls, paint a mural that's dark. Customers in shadows, faces blurred like a dream. Conversations and whispers, plotting schemes unseen. This ain't your local diner, this is Hell's Canteen, where your last meal's a latte and regrets the cream. True crime cafe where secrets spill like cream. Every sip a confession, every cup a scream. Tables hold stories soaked in guilt and grime. Dago serves the brew, murders keep the time.
All right, all right. Welcome back to the cafe, guys. We are open for business today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Appreciate you all so very much. I hope you had a great evening, and I hope you're having a great start to your day. We're back for part number 11 of this crazy ISP supplemental report read. We need to get done with this, folks. That's all I'm saying. And we're still learning more and more and more. So please make sure to hit the like button on your way through the door. Share this out, please, and thank you. Grab a seat here, grab a coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Please come on in, sit down, and have a conversation with me. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Welcome back, guys. Grab a cup of whatever it is and have a seat. Let's do this thing. Come on in to the cafe. Yes, we are open for business again, guys. Looks like we got 40 peeps in here already. 23 likes. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, you meatballs and beautiful people. Thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all so much. Hope everybody had an amazing night last night. Thank you guys for joining us last night again. And thank you for being here today. Thank you to any of my blue crew that might be here. Looks like I got one here. And all the rest of you, looks like Miss Tomboy's here all by herself. Witchy, welcome back to you. The cat lady, of course. Great to see you. Echo 444. Great to see you today. Esther Hahn. Esther's ready to roll on this one, it looks like. Good afternoon to you, Fishball, and a hey, whatever works, do your thing. Do your thing. Good trouble. Great to see you. Donna Salamander, welcome back to you. Kent Corbett, my friend, great to see you. Great to have you in the house. Of course, the lovely Miss Paula, always here, never fails. Tomboy was number one today. That's crazy. Let's see here. Who else do we have? I don't want to miss anybody. Beach Babe, welcome back to you. Double B Moonbreaker, great to see you. Miss Cat K's back in the house. Combos with Bootsy, welcome back to you. Yes, I'm sure it'll be okay. Simply Solo, welcome back to you. And Yinzal, good to see you. They had a little party in here last night, guys. They was having fun. As long as they were having fun, it's all that matters to me. You are fine. It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I don't get angry with people unless they give me a reason to get angry with them. And then that's a whole different story. And I don't like doing that. So you are perfectly fine. Simply, you and Devil Woman looked like, and Miss Kim was having a good old time. And that's all matters. There she is, SRBBB. Happy Friday to you, my dear. Good to see you. And thank you for joining us. There you go. You'll be all right now, Tomboy. This crowd is a good crowd, so we don't have to worry about that too much, I'm sure. Dean A, welcome back, my friend. Good to see you guys. We're on to part number 11. I'm hoping that we can get through this. Maybe today. We got distracted the past couple days and didn't get a chance to really get into them and get through them, and I just want to get done with them. I do. I'm becoming quite the professional reader, I'll tell you that much. I ain't never read so much. Hell, I didn't even read this much when I was in school. Come on in and grab a seat if you will, if you would, if you can, because you should. And oh shit, who's this? Willie Will. What's up,
That's
Willie?
right, buddy. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. You
Haven't
see?
seen you in a bit.
Are you doing all right? You good? You feeling good?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm waiting for tomorrow. You see, I'm already rocking my colors.
Oh shit, dude! I can't wait. Finally,
Roma. You know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'm
dude.
all
Dude, I really thought there for a little bit Nick was going to come back, and I was excited, but I don't know. I still have some hope.
Well, we picked up a new offensive coordinator.
Coordinator, yeah.
Yeah, he's supposed to be. He came with where the dude came from. I can't ever think of the new guy's name. I'm so used to saying Nick.
Washington.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
Nick is still a. They still talk to him, and he's still a consultant. From my understanding, they're paying him a pretty decent chunk to consult with them. So whatever. I think we got it. We got a new quarterback we're working on, and they developed him real well. And I think we got this, bro. We got this.
Word.
We got.
So what are you going over? What are you going over today?
I'm on. I'm trying to finish up on the reading on these ISP reports. We're coming towards the end of them, and we're getting into some interesting shit here. So we'll see. I'm bouncing through all the. I completely ignored and just. I read a few of them, and I got tired of the Brian bashing, so I just skipped all those. Anything that was a report,
bro. People, dude, like, what's I don't know if you saw my live. I went live because I was just pissed off at that family attorney, whoever the hell that guy was, saying like the true crime community is a problem, and that's why stuff should be redacted. Dude, who the fuck are you?
He's an idiot. He's a complete idiot. He works for Monster.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, I said it yesterday after we watched that hearing. I said, this dude is shoved up Bill's ass, and he's probably scared to death that if he says anything negative, that Bill's going to pop up like a fucking Muppet and go, what did you say? You're fired, So seriously, like the dude is a joke. He's supposed to be defending the statute and the law. And he didn't even talk about that. He talked about, well, we don't want them to go out, Your Honor. We don't see why they need him. He's in jail, and he said this and this. It's a conspiracies and blah, blah, blah. Shut up, dude. Sit down and shut up.
Yeah, for real, dude. And then I saw yesterday our buddy Frankie boy, dude. He was ranting about. He's pissed off that everybody's still talking about this case. Like, bro, how can you not talk about this case and how corrupt it is? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. People are angry that creators are still talking about the Idaho 4. Like, now is the time to be talking about the case, right? If you're actually reading documents and reading the information, like, how can you not be talking about it? So it just goes to show you how many people don't actually read the information and they're just spewing.
And how many people don't care about themselves per se, not realizing that this can happen to you and your family.
Exactly.
This all can happen to
until
you.
They're in the position now they're whining and nobody's there because they.
Now don't cry about it then. If you're not willing to stand up for it now and point it out now to the world, don't cry about it when it happens to you. That's my theory on it at that point.
Exactly. Yep.
And I think, Combo's right. Like all these people that are whining, pissing and moaning, the guilters, that because they don't want anything to change, Willie. They want it to be what it is. Brian's in prison. He did it. That's it. Because if something changes, they all look like idiots. Just saying.
And that's what it is.
100%. And it can't change. It's got to stay this way. So the more we talk about it, the more shit comes out. At some point, I don't care if Brian, even if Brian doesn't appeal or done it, and I'm not going to shut up until I hear some truth in what happened in this case. And that may may take forever. Well, guess what? If that's what it is, guess who's going to be talking about this shit forever? Because I ain't going to let go. Sorry.
Exactly. Until we see some kind of evidence that he did it. Come on.
Yeah. You don't even want to know, Matt. He's a joke. Don't even worry about it.
I saw a couple people. A couple people in here were actually because somebody sent me like the video and they were like, "Yeah, he was talking shit about you." I'm like, "You should have been," because I kicked him out of my studio. He was trying to get up on stage yesterday. I'm like, "Dude, go do something with your life." And he got mad, went live. And then I saw like a couple of people that are in here right now. We're over there watching and I'm talking shit. It was funny, dude. Wow. He's all bent out of shape.
He'll get over it or he won't. Either way. Who cares?
But what's funny is, like, you know, he was one of the ones in the beginning, the first ones to come out and say that, like, Brian was innocent and this, that, and the third. And now it's like nobody can talk about this case. I just don't know how you flip that far from.
Well, when he realized that the majority of people were on the guilter side, he had to go there.
Okay.
You know how that works.
I got you.
Frank SRB. You know who he is. Remember?
You know, Frankie boy.
Yeah, I just ignored him.
I didn't really pay attention to it. I just thought it was funny.
It is. Actually, he's not the only one doing that either. There's a lot of other people out there. Jesus, Gray Hughes is still out here. He's rambling, and they're still expelling lies, bro. I mean, completely.
I know, like, it's fact. Because their audience they don't know any better, so they just, yeah.
Yep. Tell your lies. Tell your sweet little lies, because I'm telling you, sooner or later, it's gonna come back on you. And all them people you've been lying to for the past 2.5 years are gonna look at you and go, "Why? Why'd you do that?" You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just saying. Let's see. Real quick, we got Eddie in here. Welcome, Eddie. Matt Emlo, Gen 7. Inside your bones. Good to see ya. Let's see. Samira Dalby, welcome back to you. Miss Carrie Prajula, good to see you as well. Emma R, welcome back to you, Miss Emma. Kathy, Probable Cause, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Eddie, of course, good to see you, brother. Always happy to have you in the house. Hopefully you'll be joining me too. I gave Frank a few questions to answer yesterday. Twiz was there. Oh Lord, how did Twiz do with that? That should have been interesting. Yeah, that's what we call him. I think I saw. What's good? Tandy on her lunch break.
Twiz was great over there.
Do what?
I said Twiz was doing great.
Good. I would love to hear Frank try to get into him. Jelly Bean.
Twiz was over in his chat for like an hour and change, going back and forth with what's his name? That Texas Ranger character.
Oh yeah, they don't get along. They were doing that here yesterday for a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with that person. That person's nuts, dude.
He don't bug me. He's pretty respectable to me when he's in here, but he didn't used to be. I'll say that.
Hell yeah, I remember John's.
Yeah, right. But he behaves in here. He's respectful to me, so I give him what it is.
That's good. I don't know if they were. I don't know if they were the same person or not.
Well, I wondered that too, because over there, like, they used to rip me in half over there, dude. You remember that?
Exactly.
But he's respectful in here, so maybe it's not the same one.
Yeah.
SRB just dropped 5 memberships. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. Emma R. V Slims. I haven't seen V in a while. I miss her. Lydia Unhinged, Halo Art, and the crazy Italian lady. Congrats. Welcome to the sauce. Appreciate that so much, SRB. You're an angel. Appreciate you. I haven't talked to Sarge in a while. Sarge said he was backing up from this until something happens, because Sarge only gets into the political aspect or the legal aspect of it. He can't handle all the other rumor stuff and all the other shit, so he just stays away until it comes back out. That way he doesn't say anything he don't want to, but he watches, he pays attention. But now he's been busy with work and everything too, end of season stuff. Yeah, we got a few more to hit up on these things, and there's, like I said, more bullshit. Let's see here.
I just can't believe they're gonna leave. You know, who knows how long until she makes a decision. So that means that this shit's gonna stick, dude, till further notice.
I know, and it kind of sucks. Like I said, and I'm a little worried about Brian Koberger, to be honest with you, because some of the stuff he's done since he's been in there, and if he can't get himself moved somewhere else, or get his appeal or whatever he's going to do, if he's going to do anything at all, rolling and stuff like that, I feel like there's a target on him, and that's kind of unnerving, because I told you before, if something happens to him, we're done. That's the end of it. That's it. They'll shut. I mean, we can talk about it. That ain't going to change nothing about what happened, but they'll shut everything down, and they won't talk about anything anymore. And that'll be the end of it. So,
but like, he's like, I don't understand, because like, what? I don't know, man. Like, why hasn't he appealed by now?
I don't know. I don't know if he's waiting for a specific thing to happen. If he's waiting, if they're working on something in the background, maybe to bring, expose all the
yeah, I
corruption
don't know.
in some
I don't know
form.
anything. All I know is what I want is I just don't want it to end like this. It can't end.
No.
Well, I'm pouring some water in a cup.
No,
I don't want it to end like this, dude.
I agree. And here's what I worry the most about is, like you just said, ending like this. Welcome, Eddie. Good to see you, buddy. And
good morning, Willie.
No, it's on, man.
It could just be like this, and it's forgotten about, and nobody talks about it anymore. Things move on. This kid sits in prison the rest of his life, and the real people that did this and the real corruption is never ever put out on the table, and it just continues to go on and on and on. And that is what I don't want. So
exactly.
And I feel I have a bad inkling in the back of my mind that that's a grand possibility. As much as I don't want to believe in that, it could happen, and I don't want to see
possibility.
It really is. It really is bad. Molly, good golly, it's great to see you, dear. I was wondering about you. True Seeker, good to see you as well.
And this is a judge that signed off on that piss poor freaking warrant, so she's most likely going to say that they're going to have to redact all the crime scene photos in that room, the rooms.
Yeah, we'll see. Wait, what did you say? Signed off on what?
Huh?
What did you say about that? Somebody signed off on a warrant?
Yeah, the same judge that is going to make this decision. She's the same one that signed off on the bullshit warrant, dude.
Yeah, Marshall. She's the one that started this, in my opinion. If it wasn't for her doing what she did, we probably wouldn't be sitting right here, because some of these things, she could have looked at in a different way, and she didn't. So
exactly. So I don't really have any faith that, she's going to go in a way.
Yeah. The only thing I'm trying to keep in a positive tone is that she is a judge. This is a statute, a law, and for her to stand by that as a judge would make more sense. But that don't mean she's going to do that. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, she's one of the most corrupt, in my opinion. Why, I don't know. Like I said, as we were running last night, I was up. We covered some Idaho stuff. There were those new documents that come out, and all they are is showing all the money Brian owes. And then I covered Letcher County again, the sheriff that shot the judge. And I was noticing as we were rolling through that one, and I even made the statement, Eddie was here last night too. I said, this kind of does remind me a lot of Idaho, because it's kind of the same thing. It may be different circumstances, but it kind of is. There, it's coming out. We see all the corruption, everything going on in the government and things like that, and everybody that's involved in it. But that's what needs to happen here, is that people need to step up and start talking and saying, hey, this happens, that happens. This is a problem. That's a problem. This and that. And, watch everything implode. They won't do it, though. It seems like there's more of a fear in Idaho than there is in Letcher County with what's going on.
That's the problem, dude. But when stuff comes out, and when something is blatant, in a report, MSM finds a way to spin it in a way that people don't even hear that information.
They twist it. So, yes, sir. They have to change it and roll it right back to that narrative. Think about that, though, because they can't just come out in the middle of nowhere and change the whole narrative in 360 and go to another direction, because it's going to make the stations look stupid. The reporters look like what they are, stupid, and they won't allow for that to happen. So they got to keep everything going, even if they have their own personal beliefs. We'll never know that.
Dago, I'm surprised you glossed over the most important part of what we did last night. For those of you who weren't here last night, you got to understand, nobody ever before or since has done such a deep dive into page 158 of the closed hearing transcript like we did last night.
Oh my God.
We unraveled the mysteries of page 158. Let me tell you.
Jesus Christ.
If you don't know what we're talking about, the train got derailed last night because of a mistaken digit. It was page 153 that we're intending to look at. And Daniel starts reading page 158 and didn't stop until at least 170.
That was so funny.
You know what, though? That's what makes the memories. Those moments are as important as the productive moments. The bloopers reel is just as
it's huge,
important as the highlight reel.
Yes. I mean, really, I think I read for what 15 minutes nonstop. Lucy had come in and we were talking about something about the wrong branch of the tree and all that kind of stuff, and how they got to Brian and how they could have got to him if that kind of shit. And so she threw out there, she was like, it's in this. She gave me the link. We went to the document, pulled it up. I started reading 158, so on and so forth. And it was off by one number. It was actually supposed to be, and I wasn't looking at the chat. So I'm reading along. Eddie's following along on his document, so on and so forth. So finally he was like, Dago. And I said, yeah. He goes, look at the chat. And I'm like, I looked over. And he goes, I'm following along with you. So neither one of us saw it. And they were like, it's one. They're like throwing up emergency signs and doing this and doing that.
Oh, my God.
They were like, it's 153. And I went, oh, shit. So
read the whole shit for nothing.
Yeah, I read all. I mean, it was interesting still, but because I had never read that. It was,
you know what? Even if you had read page 153, nobody's going to remember that in a day, a week, month from now. But they're going to remember what we did on that night when the train left the tracks.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it was too, and I just was like, okay. So I go back up to 153, started reading all the way back down till we hit 158, and we were back in where we were. And I'm like, Jesus. And the whole chat was doing it. They were like, no, it's not this, it's that, it's this, and nobody looked at it. So yeah, I was down under that water for a minute, dude. It was funny. But
that was a great moment.
It was too funny. That was the best part of the night. Like I said, we got to have a couple of laughs sometimes because we'll go insane if we don't,
Oh, yeah. Especially with true crime.
Exactly, with true crime. You ain't lying. Yeah, it was probably a good 20 minutes that I was in there doing that. And then it was funnier when I looked up and I went, what the hell is everybody freaking out about? I read it one time and he said something. I went, oh no, Jesus, here we go.
Did you read some of the comments? Some people are like saying their eyes are starting to roll back into their heads.
Yes. Yes. It was great. It was great. This community is hilarious too. There's a lot of great people in here. Jesse says, at least you didn't bet on Boise State. No, I didn't. Did you? I hope you didn't, Jesse. Oh boy.
They get smacked?
I guess from what I heard, I seen some scores fly up this morning. I didn't see that score, but I you hear things in this one did that and this one did well here, this one did well there, whatever. So
yeah.
Seriously, next time I'm coming backstage. I'm surprised somebody didn't call my phone. That's happened before too. Like they go, stop doing this or that, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, when I get wrapped up in reading and stuff, folks, forget it. I'm out there. So yeah, I'm glad you reminded me of that, Eddie. That was hilarious. 34-7. Oh my God.
Damn.
That's bad.
South Florida.
Destroyed.
That's crazy.
Destroyed. What are the odds on Bama tomorrow, Jesse?
Who are they playing? I don't know who the fuck they're playing.
I don't either. That was my next question. Who we playing? Talk about the chicken. Offie, what's up, buddy? Let's see who else jumped in here. Witchy, Offie, Tanny's on lunch. Good to see you. Of course, Jesse. You're welcome to join us too, Jesse, if you want to.
We play Florida State. We should be all right.
Do what? We play Florida State?
Yeah, Florida State.
Oh, that should be interesting. I missed some of that because, man, yeah, Devil Woman, and they were having a party in here last night, Eddie. I don't know if you saw that. Devil Woman, Simply Solo, and Miss Kim, they were just going to town in here, talking about hairspray and drum sets and step brothers. And I'll put my balls on your drum set and all sorts of crazy shit. I'm like, what the hell are you guys on? Like, they were going on. They were on one, and I was like, all right, kids, settle down. And I always type in caps. And they're like, is he yelling at us? I said, no, I'm not yelling at nobody. I said, just telling you to settle down.
Chat is the funnest place to be. There's no doubt.
Yes, it is. That's where the cool kids are.
People were throwing up hashtag page 153.
Mm-hmm. Aquanet, yes. They were talking about Aquanet. All sorts of crazy shit. Go Gators. Oh, no. What are you talking about there, Miss Emma?
Fuck the Gators.
Hey, now we ain't doing that stuff. Roll Tide.
Haters.
MFing. You're a Trojan. Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Who's that? Michigan State, right?
Unless, yeah, either that or USC.
USC. Yeah, that's right. We literally spammed that with 153. Yeah, go just to get a laugh, dude. Go look at the chat last night for just like 15-20 minutes, Willie. It was insane. That's right, Tandy. Roll mother effing tide. Circus music. Welcome back. Good to see you.
I gotta say though, Willie, I agree with you about there is no hope. Megan Marshall's gonna definitely ensure that this.
Oh my God! Yeah.
There is no transparency here.
Of course not. Of course not.
I'm really interested to see how she rules about the blood. You know, is she going to consider that part of the body?
Yeah. It's just I don't know, man. It's all by design. So
it is. That's I like that you said that because it truly is, in my opinion. And if you go off that script,
of course it is, dude. Fucking the Chapins didn't say a goddamn word for how long, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're like, "Oh, wait a second, come on."
Yeah, the Chapins, the Laramies, the and like I said, the Gonsalves, they're not on that train because as much as I'm sure that they don't want people looking at that stuff, they want everything out there, in my opinion. So
yeah, I'm sure they want to see the truth.
I'd like to hear truly, as much as I complained before because of Steve's world tour and all that kind of stuff. After these reports have come out, I guarantee somebody over there is reading something on them. I want to know what they think now with all this other bullshit. Even if maybe just watching the body cam, since you're defending Dylan and Bethany so much. Now, what do you think? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, 300. And welcome. Oh, speaking of, while we're sitting here, before we get started on this, let me check something because yesterday, it is Friday, and last night them dropped out of nowhere, and just want to make sure I ain't missing nothing real quick that might surprise us like that did. And I was kind of excited thinking, wait, that one of them might have been something about an appeal or something, but nope.
Yeah.
That was my expectation.
Dig up, be right back. I'm gonna call. Be right back. If you can hear me.
Take your time, bud. You're good. Yeah, nope, nothing new. It just
Daniel, while you're in those documents,
yeah,
do something real quick. I'm just out of curiosity. I'm dying to know. Remember how the dates of our documents didn't jive yesterday?
Yeah.
January 24th versus January 29th. Remember that?
Yeah. Yep, I do remember.
Just out of curiosity, if you have a moment, do you want to see what it looks like today? If you scroll back to that place.
I can. Yes, sir. I'll even show it to you.
Trying to find that. I think it was January 24th on yours. Mine was January 29th.
124 stipulated motion to extend. Well, there's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, that was February 24th. Sorry.
Yeah, January. It was notice of filing of stipulated exhibits for motions to suppress and memorandum for Frank's hearing.
And I have the first one I have is order regarding January 23rd, 25 hearing transcript, and then stipulated motion to extend the deadline to file motions in limine.
Yeah, and yours is still off.
It is obviously. I tried refreshing it last night and everything, and nothing changes.
Why that is, and I wonder where the glitch is. Somewhere there's
definitely
like a wad of them, you know, like a group of them missing somehow in yours.
I think there was some taken out. I'm telling you, I truly, because we went looking for something before. AP Fox, good to see you, and it's gone. I don't know why they've taken things out of here, but they have. I don't know if it's because somebody said, well, they were correcting things and doing it. Yeah, well, put the document back after you correct it because it's not there at some of these now. And I don't like that. I can't upload every single one of these because I won't have nothing left in my system. But that's why I've just kept it like this. And see, I thought that I had maybe a different link or something than you, but you have the same type of thing, don't you?
Oh, let's have you scroll all the way back downward. Maybe that was the answer right there. You scrolled down for a minute, then you scrolled right back up. Notice how there was dates, and then to the right of it there was emptiness. Look at that, or vice versa. That explains it right there.
6. Yeah. Okay.
Do you see that?
I do. Yeah. I do.
So if you were to make those, if you were to like move the left column down so it aligns with the title of the document, then I bet it would.
Can I do that?
Jive.
Yeah, if we take that one and put it up there on the stipulated motion to seal exhibit to state's objection, put that on January 2nd, and then push the rest of them up, then that would make sense. Okay, yeah, I got you. That does make sense. Okay.
Yeah, mine. I scrolled. I'm on my case file, and mine doesn't do what yours is doing.
I wonder why mine does that. That's
interesting.
Weird. It is very interesting. Strange, but interesting. I don't know. I've had that like that for a while too. That's the weird thing. I've seen those like that, and I just thought they, maybe they were overlaid or something like that. But where are those documents? Are they the newer? No. ICP 195. What are you talking about there, Kent? Insane clown posse? I'm just kidding. Are you talking about the Idaho State reports? ISP 195? Is that what you were trying to say? Speaking of, let me pull those up real quick here and get that ready to go. 1 minute here. Where's my link? I know it's in here somewhere. It was. Where's that link? It's up here. We're coming up on it. All right. Give me a second, folks. I'm just trying to pull up my ISP link. Good Lord. I'm going to have to clean this out here soon. I got a lot of stuff in here.
Jesse, no, I didn't even bother watching stuff like that. Megyn Kelly. Stuff like that, it just makes me grit my teeth.
I've heard, though, that she's changing up the things that she's talking about now and kind of leaning away from the guilter side, which is good, but it's taken long enough. Jesus,
Is it a mixture? Is it like 20 minutes of ridiculous bashing and overlooking the obvious, and then throw in a moment of like clarity and asking the right question? Because that might be like what draws you into thinking that, oh, she's not a guilter. Look at, she asked great question right there. So
right.
That could be part of the tactic.
Yeah, no, I can't.
So that it doesn't draw too much attention to itself, and it's conspicuous.
Right. No, 100%. That's to draw the other people in too, right? I cannot play Megyn Kelly. She strikes anybody that touches her stuff, so I just won't do it. So that just proves the asshole that she is, in my opinion. But no, nothing. I even played just a clip of her one time, and I still got a warning. I'm like, nope, it ain't worth my time. So I can watch it on my own and see what she says and just relay it back to you guys. But
I love that. 300 lats. Every time he types in law enforcement, it's always with an R.
Law.
That's good.
Law enforcement. Conbo said at the beginning, Megyn actually was objective for a moment, hoping that she comes back to earth. Well, yeah, well, I doubt it. Then again, she knows that that's not going to bring her views, so she's probably not going to do it. If I came out here and, oh my God, Brian's guilty this and blah, 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 guys, I would have a 10,000 views each video. No, not going to do it. And I can't handle her anyway. So even if I could play her, I couldn't play it a lot. Yeah, Oppie said she's starting to whistle a different tune. Well, if she goes all the way that way, we'll see. But I don't have a lot of faith in that. Hey, Fizzy, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Oh, if she goes all the way that way, we'll see. But I don't have a lot of faith in that. Hey, Fizzy. Is that what I sound like? Just kidding.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. No, it was interesting, the Megyn Kelly, because she had a few lawyers on. She had Mark Garagos on. And Garagos is a defense attorney, and I've heard Garagos in the past, be very skeptical of the investigation. He wasn't so much in this interview with Megyn Kelly, but she had one guy on who I believe was an attorney. I don't know who the guy is. But as soon as Megyn Kelly expressed her doubt about the official story, which she, at the top of the show, the first thing she said is, man, I watched these body cam videos, and I was shocked at how different the story actually is compared to the PCA. And as soon as she said that, this other guy on her panel, who, he's on her show, and he totally mansplained to her, accused her of victim blaming. I mean, the typical, you could probably imagine what it's like, just how dare the Greta Thunberg, how dare you, and Megyn Kelly starts to defend, she's like, yeah, well, whatever. I'm not saying that they did anything. I'm just saying that the PCA said one thing and that wasn't true. And I just can't get over how the fact that the PCA was not factual. And she was thoroughly challenged. She had 2 or 3 other people on her panel that just shut her right down. She appeared to try to fight back, and her efforts were futile. But Megyn Kelly's not the kind of woman that's going to let herself be mansplained to. So I'm hoping she comes back and with a different panel, with a more objective panel. And she did seem to very much be bothered by the fact that the PCA is inconsistent with the facts.
Sorry, I'm muted. It took long enough. What I don't understand is these people that are finally coming out and saying, okay, this is not right. That's not right. Why did it take you so damn long? This shit's been out here for how long now, you guys? And why is it just now? Chris McDonough and his bullshit, okay? I can't stand the dude, but he is calling out prosecution and different things that aren't right. Well, why did it take you that long? Go ahead, Eddie.
No, you're making a good point. And all along, remember, we had to endure the debates with, okay, the 3 circles around the house. He drove and he's, casing the joint. Then the next trip, he's making sure the lights are off and getting his nerve up. And,
yeah.
Now he's in the house. Now he's on the 2nd floor. And because he's excited in the heat of the moment, he drops the sheet, goes downstairs, does all that, walks by her bedroom, and he's too tuckered out. Then he goes out and he undresses outside of the sliding door where he laid his tarp down and threw a shower curtain. I mean, we had to endure all that. Now we know that the car wasn't even there that night.
Sure is amazing how that pong table never got in the way.
And I've been saying for almost 2 years I didn't think there was a car at all. So now it's out. Okay. Yeah. And
all their talking points have been deleted and taken from them. Now it's, he pled guilty.
Right. That's the only thing. Well, he pled guilty. That's all there is to it. Just shut up. Really? Okay. What about all this other shit? That's okay with you? What if that happened to you? And would you want us to talk about that and point out the facts that it's not right? Or do you just want us to shut up? Because I can shut up if you want me to. And when it happens to you, not say a damn word. I'm just saying.
Is it possible that a lot of them, a lot of the mainstream morons, they know that there's something's wrong, but they just go with the flow because they can see that that's where the mainstream is going, and they wouldn't dare go against it. Mm-hmm. But when information comes out that makes them look stupid, if they don't call it out, they just say enough to just, well, I'm not a complete moron. I can recognize that this doesn't, these two things don't fit together, and then they just go right back to endorsing the mainstream narrative.
It could be that, but have you considered this? Do you believe that it is state-owned media?
I don't think Megyn Kelly is state-owned media. She's supposed to be independent.
A lot of
I'm not saying across the board. Yep.
Mainstream though. A lot of mainstream. Yeah, very, very much so. KT.
Do you think our government has the ability to push out the narrative if they choose to?
Well, absolutely. No, I wouldn't say if. I think it's been proven. I mean, were you around in 2020, Eddie?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of narrative pushing going on back then.
No, I know. I have a keen awareness of all the times it's happened, and I'm sure it's happened times that I wasn't sensible to as well.
No, I mean, it's usually pretty subtle, but it was everything but subtle in 2020, right? It was just in your face, like
I know.
Which and now that's, I mean, that was basically highly successful, right? You had no ability to push back, and anybody who did push back got punished immediately, and there's been no repercussions for that since then. So it can only get worse from here on out, right? That demonstrated that we do not have the power to push back against that narrative manipulation, mind control, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, right? Go ahead.
I've been saying for so long, and this thought will just be brief, that, these news anchor types, the journalists, they're very smart people. So it can't be that they're all that stupid. Okay. They know, in other words, what they're saying is false, but they do it anyway because they have no choice over the matter. They're just doing the bidding of another's wish.
Well, they got to get that paycheck. That's their bread and butter. And if they don't read, even if they don't believe, see, that's what I could never do that job. Okay. This is as close as I'll ever get to that, because if somebody walked up to me and I knew this case, for instance, what it was, and they said, you have to read this. This is what you have to read. It's right there. If you go off of that, you're fired. Well, guess what? Bye. You're going to fire me, because I'm not going to throw my morality out the door just so you can give me a $10. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't work that way for me. And I don't understand how they do it. Okay. I don't understand how anybody does that. If you can look at something and blatantly see it is not what they're telling you it is, how do you do that and go home and go to bed every night? Can't do it. You
see the photo behind me? The mainstream media for the last 20 years has been telling you that LeBron James is better than this guy. Oh. There's no way that anybody who knows anything about basketball believed that.
No.
They convinced a generation of maybe under 30s. Nobody over 30 could possibly believe that. It's one of the most unbelievable lies ever told. But it was pushed on every channel, every network, by people who there's no way that any of them believe that. And in fact, and since now LeBron's on the back end of his career and it's impossible to push that narrative, you've seen all the main characters, the mainstream media guys that were selling that lie. They've all backtracked now and said, "Oh, no." Of
course, they were so dead.
Now they're trying to erase history and pretend they never did it. And they never said it.
The whole goal was LeBron had to be the GOAT, whatever it was, no matter what. And anybody that knew who Jordan was said, no, never, nobody. Okay, the only person, in fact, in my opinion, Kobe was closer than LeBron was to being even close to that. But nobody could touch Mike. Sorry. But that was the whole point. They had to get LeBron's career up and moving and going and going and going. He's the new one. Michael's gone. We got to do this. It didn't happen, folks. There are people.
It was all about money for the networks, for the league.
Yes.
It makes sense. But it's amazing. It's amazing though that they would get Hall of Famers. We're talking very wealthy people, former athletes, to participate in the lie. I mean, it was a well-coordinated, well-funded, narrative manipulation.
Oh, it's sad because LeBron even knew that he wasn't and knows that he never could have been, period. So that was a joke. My son went there for a little while. My son was a Jordan fan like you wouldn't believe. Still is, okay? And he's 31, okay? And when LeBron popped out of the weeds and this, oh my God, Daddy's busy. He's got, dude, come on, you know better than that, because he used to watch the games with me, the old games. We go back to ESPN Classic and watch all this. Look at this, look at that, look at this. You think LeBron could ever do that? No, come on. He's there now. He's like, I get it. I understand. I should have never said that.
LeBron had one moment in that series comeback versus the Warriors. The problem with that is Jordan did that every year.
Yeah. Yes. All the time. Every time. Thank you. Yeah. There's nobody is ever going to, nobody ever could have in the past or in the future will ever match up to Michael Jordan, period. There's no two ways about it. There were some greats in the past. Don't get me wrong. Magic Johnson, Kareem, but they never got to this point. Larry Bird, all them guys were great. Don't get me wrong.
And none of those guys ever participated in the lie. Those old school greats, they knew what was up.
Yes. Yep.
It was your Paul Pierce, Kevin Charles Barkley, Shaq would participate in this kind of thing.
Yeah. It's money. I can't stand Barkley. Never did like him. Never will. I just don't like his personality, I guess you could call it. So, welcome, Lucy. 153, Lucy. 153.
That's right, 153.
We already talked about it this morning. Sorry, guys. We're off of the basketball thing. I know. I see a couple of you guys. I get it. I know a lot. Thank God Mama Bear's not here. She hates sports with a passion. Jordan couldn't beat Shaq. Oh my God. Get out of here, 300. You're insane. Shaq is like I'll say this one last thing. I'm going to shut up. Shaq is great. He's a great person. He's slow, or he was slow and clumsy. There's nothing about him could even come close to Jordan. And that's my opinion. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Well, we're coming up on 195, Kent. I'm starting off at, I think we start off at 190. I got to, and we'll be up at 195 here real quick. So, Lucy said, social experiment. How did one digit derail a train? It just did, Lucy. It just did. She said,
but boy, we dove into page 158 though.
We sure did.
We solved the mysteries on that one.
Ain't no lie about that. That is absolute truth. The only bright side, hey Faith, good to see you. People changing their tunes is that maybe it'll give us all these college students the courage to speak. I hope that would be a great thing. Maybe they'll push back and they'll stop allowing these things to happen on campuses now, the drugs and the this and that, which is, again, in my opinion, where this is leading back to at some point in some aspects. So no, I said that too this morning in your defense, my dear. I said 158. I had never read that transcript part. It was very interesting. It just wasn't where we were supposed to be. That's all it was. And yes, I read my brains out on that one. Hey, Ro, good to see you. So this will begin as we left off last night or yesterday. I'm sorry. It's stalkers for the Idaho State Police report number 190. Yeah, 100%, Witchy, 100%. Randy Fur, good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining us. During a review of the video footage, Gonsalves was seen entering. Oh, I messed up beginning of it. I'm sorry. On the 23rd of November of 22 at approximately 10 a.m., Detective O'Hara, Detective Powell reviewed security camera footage from blank in the security room. The tip had been reviewed and reported to her. Oh, I did read this, didn't I? About the Winco thing. I think I did. Yeah, I did read that because then I defended them because I thought that was ridiculous and it was over exaggerated. So on down to the next one. I'm sorry.
And by the way, could you throw it up on the screen too for the folks?
That would probably be a good idea, wouldn't it, Eddie? Telling you what, guys, I wouldn't survive sometimes without some of you guys reminding me of these things that I don't do right. There we go. Okay, this is the next one. On January 13th to 22 at approximately 11:44 ISP Detective Adams and I interviewed blank. The interview took place inside my vehicle in the parking lot of blank in Moscow, Latah County, Idaho. And this is a summary of the interview. For complete details, listen to the full audio of the interview. Of course, blank stated the following. Entered blank former apartment off blank in Moscow when the current tenant blank was not home. The intention was to retrieve a dresser that he bought for blank that she had left in the apartment when she moved out. Was arrested by MPD for unlawful entry. See police report. That's okay. B blank was drinking at John's Alley on November 13th and stayed until 2 a.m. and then drove home blank where he lives with his father. Went to work at blank later that morning at 9 a.m. Blank agreed to provide a DNA buccal swab while wearing nitrile gloves that collected one. Blah, blah, blah. We know how that goes. Okay. Placed the swab inside the evidence envelope. Marked the relevant collection data on the outside and concluded the interview at 12:03. Back to MPD. Curious to who that is. I may have to go back through Moscow's reports because I think there's some things I missed in there that I need to review again. Let's see here. So this one is, again, Jeff Talbot says, oh, we did this one too. This is the one, 192, that where they found blood on, I jumped ahead to this. They found blood on Xana's jacket, or I'm sorry, Dylan's jacket in that blanket with the hearts on it, which is interesting to me. And I really would like to see the lab reports on these. Today is Randy's birthday. Everybody make sure you wish him a happy birthday. Don't go nowhere, Randy. I'll get to it.
This is the one with the lab reports?
No, this is the one that we need the lab reports on. This is where they found blood on the blanket, the pink blanket with hearts on it, and the green.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
Yep.
I want to see lab reports. I want to know whose blood that is. If it's hers, it could be. Okay. You know, it's a thing. It can happen. So, but with what happened here, I have doubts on that. That's all I'm saying. So I get to move. Yeah, it's the pink and white color blanket with the red hearts, and then where's it at? The green and pink colored coat. Those two things had blood on them. They tested positive for blood, and we have no idea whose blood it is at this point. So we need to find that out. There's multiple lab reports that need to come out with different findings on different things that we need to see, in my opinion. Go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, it would have to be there would have to be a lab report on that.
Definitely. And if there's not, I have a really big problem. Really big problem. Please, Daga, can you please explain that again, like yesterday? What do you mean, Bones? Frankly, the doctor shit, many inconsistencies, lack of follow. Oh, there's no follow-up, Alicia, on just about anything. Explain what again? Inside your bones, which part of it, or what, which thing specifically? I hope you're having an amazing day, by the way, Randy. And like
happy birthday, Randy.
Stick around, buddy. Don't go nowhere. We'll get there. How her red stuff may be on it. Oh, it could have her blood on it. Yeah, it's just a thing. Like I said, it could have, if she had a bloody nose or anything. Okay, she could cut herself, and it's her belongings. So of course, it could be her own blood. Is what I was trying to say. Guys,
even if it's the victim's blood, the state is not going to be overly concerned about that. They're going to say, well, that's understandable. You know, those items were in the house when those homicides occurred. So what's the problem here?
That's not acceptable because
no, that's not acceptable.
That means that you were in that crime scene when they told me.
Yeah,
so
they'll just make up some nonsense narrative and dismiss it.
That's what they do every time. Next up on Mike Mooney, facilitated production of Idaho vehicle registration. Okay. On November 27th of 22 at approximately 4:30, I received an email from a Regional Communications Officer, Mary Conrad, titled ISP Contact Statewide 22. The email contained data regarding ISP contacts with the Hyundai Elantra cars in 22. I forwarded the information to FBI analyst Beth Sullins. On December 4th at approximately 1:08, at my request, RCO Conrad sent an email titled Plates from Plate Reader System to FBI analyst Beth Sullins. The email contained data from the LPR located on US 95 at milepost 425 between the dates of 12/4 and of 22 and 12/4/22 1303 from 00 to 1303. Okay. On December 4th at approximately 1:15, at my request, RCO Conrad sent an email titled More Plate Reader Info November 13th to FBI analyst Beth Sullins. The email contained additional NB Mica LPR data between the dates of 12/3 00 and 12/3/2359. On December 6th at approximately 9:50, I received access to the Idaho SWET data pertaining to all vehicles contacted by participating law enforcement agencies in Idaho, and I forwarded the data to SWET TV, SWETV vehicles. I'm sorry, SWET vehicles. There we go. XLSX to FBI analysts Beth Sullins and Maria Tyndall. On the 14th of December at approximately 11:22, I received a list of 2011 to 13 Hyundai Elantra cars registered in Idaho from blank at the Idaho Transportation Department on December 20th of 22. At approximately 12:14, I forwarded the list to FBI analyst Maria Tyndall. So let me ask something. I'm going to stop real fast here and ask a question. This whole stupid mix-up between 2011, 2013, and all that other shit that happened. Eddie, do you think that was something that was done on purpose as well? Or do you think that was an actual mistake that they screwed up with? And with the delay that it caused and all the other screw-ups? Or what? You know, I
think it's a deliberate mistake. I think it's like incorporated into their scheme.
That's kind of what I thought. You know, Sarge said that too at one point, that it's these are experts, folks, that they put on this, that this is all they do is deal with these cars. So how do you make that mistake on accident? You know what I mean? And I kind of had to agree with that. So I was just curious what your thoughts were on that too. It's weird that even on December 14th that they are still looking for it. Yeah. That's that. Thank you, Heather. That's my whole point with that.
Let's spend just a little bit of time, not too much, trying to figure out what that redacted word in paragraph number 5 is. What could it be?
I received a list of 2011 to 13 Hyundai Elantra cars registered in Idaho from blank at the Idaho Transportation Department. Maybe somebody that works for the Idaho Transportation Department, maybe from blank.
Okay, a person's
that's
name.
the only thing I did think of. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be the only thing that seems to make sense there. 2015 wasn't a thing until they found out, Brian. That's what I'm saying. So there you go. There you go. Good point, Lucy. Okay, I was assigned wait a minute, who is this real quick? Darren Gilbertson. Go ahead, Eddie. What?
Real quick on what Lucy said. So there was that date in there where internally they changed the year to 2016. I'll look for it.
26. Yeah. No. I remember that. Yeah. 2011 to 13, and then when Brian was figured out, it was 2015. Right. I don't know how you make that mistake, is what I'm saying, though. I just don't get that. Michigan Girl, good to see you, by the way. They were first looking for a 2019 through 22 Nissan Sentra per NYT June 23rd. Oh, okay. I think I remember that too. You're right. And it's Meanie saying it's weird. Welcome, Meanie, by the way. They were asking about Zane and Ethan's whereabouts that night, basically until BK was arrested. I'm still asking about it.
November 26th. There you go. November 26th is when FBI expands the date range of the Elantra.
That's kind of interesting. They had Brian on the 25th, though, remember? They had that car and they had him on the 25th. Isn't that the right date? When they first had that car? Before
25th was when they put out the Bolo.
Right.
29th was when WSU police identified it.
That's when they first tagged it. Okay.
So it was the 26th. So they put out the bolo on the 25th for 2011 to 2013. Internally,
Mm-hmm.
The following day, they changed the date range.
Yeah. Okay. So. Listen to what Jenkins said. What? Remind me, Tomboy.
Cool.
Jenkins was the chief in Washington at WSU at that time. Remind me, Tomboy. Somebody pissed in Santa's room. What? That's different. It's the first time I've heard that. It could have been, though. They made the mistake because suspect vehicle 1 was a composite of at least. Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
So I guess to Lucy Morningstar's point, it's possible that they knew of Brian when they changed the date range. Can't prove it, but it kind of feels that way.
I honestly think they did. I truly think they did. And I don't think you can make me believe that they didn't, to be honest with you. Actually, the FBI identified 7 different makes and models. See? Something's not right. Hey, Paco. From what I've been able to tell, yes. I don't think you're going to say much of anything for a while. 7. They said 7, which he said. Kent just said, so they did it so it would include the year of Brian's car? That's what I'm guessing. That's my thought on it, Kent. They had to include that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way his car would fit into that. So they made it work. You know what I mean? That's a good point to make, too. The license front plate missing wasn't a thing until after the 9th. That's true, too. Good point. Welcome, Annie Ruler. Oh, good point, Jesse. They changed the date range only after BK was arrested, according to Jenkins. That's when they added the 15. That had to fit because it had to fit his car into it, basically. This whole thing, Jesus, these things are insane to me. So, I was assigned and worked as lead investigator for Idaho State Police and assisting Moscow PD in the homicides. We know that. And based upon the processing of the crime scene and evidence collected, investigators believe Koberger drove to the area and parked at the back of the residence, which we know is not true. There is a paved parking area directly to the south that overlooks the back of the residence. Koberger most likely entered the residence through a sliding door located on the second level and rear of the residence and then proceeded as follows. After entering through the sliding door, Koberger walked through the kitchen area and to a set of stairs that led to the 3rd floor. We're going to discuss this when we're done with this one, too, for a reason. Okay. Koberger then went to the stairs. Up the stairs to the 3rd floor. At the top of the stairs and directly to the left is a door, which was Gonsalves' bedroom. And to the right is a short hallway that ended into a bathroom and another door to Mogan's bedroom. Most likely, Koberger checked Gonsalves' bedroom, saw it was empty, and then moved into Mogan's bedroom, where we believe both Gonsalves and Mogan were asleep. In Mogan's bed, Koberger murdered both of them in the bed. This is not true, and that's why we're talking about this. B, Koberger most likely went back down the stairs, walked through the 2nd floor living room, and then down the hallway, which ended at Kernodle's bedroom. Based on the evidence, Kernodle was initially attacked just inside the bedroom near the entrance. Kernodle fought the suspect in the bedroom area and was ultimately killed on the floor of the bedroom next to the bed. Chapin, who we believe was asleep, was murdered in the bed. Koberger left the bedroom area, walked back down the hallway, passed through the living room, kitchen, and exited through the sliding glass door, leaving the door partly open. Koberger then walked back to his vehicle, and drove away from the area. ISP Detective Talbot and MPD Corporal Brett Payne assisted with the timed runs. Corporal Payne tracked the times for each run. Detective Talbot walked through the residence with me, calling out the number of strikes to simulate the number of wounds to each victim based on autopsy reports. No. Okay. I'm going to stop right there for a minute. Let's discuss this. Eddie, anything before I start that you would like to say first?
I can't think of anything.
Okay, so one, I do not believe there was a vehicle involved. Go ahead, Jesse. You go first, then, bud. Please do.
Does the gay bar have a serrated back edge that could get stuck in a person?
I think at first they said it did, but from my understanding now, they're saying that the knife didn't have a serrated edge. So I don't know which is which.
Even still, wouldn't you imagine if you're plunging it into somebody, it just doesn't pull out like butter, right?
Depending on the place that you do it, yeah, in some senses, you're right.
It just seems like they just went like this, and said, "You see, I could stab somebody 50 times, 50."
See, that's what I was going to bring up. That's one of my biggest issues. Is so you just stood there and pretended to stab something that many times without dancing around with it, without moving around, struggling, wrestling. Just that makes no sense to me. That's dumb to me that anybody would do that without trying to have somebody defend themselves. I know that Kaylee defended herself. And if you tell me she didn't, I'm going to call you a liar. And the first thing here, though, is that's a problem is that they weren't asleep. Maybe Maddie was sleeping, if anybody, but I don't think Kaylee was asleep. And I don't think Xana was asleep at all. Okay. And I think that the only reason why I think that is because Ethan was very, very inebriated, as they stated, and Maddie was very intoxicated. We saw. Okay. So there's no way in hell that whoever this was, I mean, I think Kaylee was all over that room trying to get away. She had stab wounds all over her body, front, back, side, whatever. So you tell me that took, what was her 20 some times she was stabbed? That's what I think happened, is what you said, Jesse. Somebody stood there and just stabbed something 20 times and said, "Okay, we're done," and moved on. That's not how that happened. Not even.
I'm thinking
with no
they stabbed the
resistance.
air.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been, Eddie, because that's how ridiculous they are.
Yeah,
Exactly.
doubtful they had 4 carcasses there, or like 4 ballistic gel.
Right.
Dummies.
Exactly. No, they're not that. They don't go in those directions. I agree. Welcome, William.
I mean, even stabbing a dummy that's got ballistic gel and like simulated bones, that resistance is gonna, if you're an out of shape cop, I mean, you're gonna be gassed pretty quick.
100%. 1 second here. Docket said something. There it is. The oral argument recar ID was one of the most infuriating moments I experienced with Hitler. He argued the entire thing as though I know. Yes. Yes, sir. That was one of many, but that was one of the worst. I agree with you. So there was definitely a fight. I call it dancing around, but wrestling around with. So in my opinion, that adds at least, I'm going to say 2 minutes to that situation with her, if not more. I'm sure she grabbed their arms and she pushed and pulled and moved and all of that. So you got to add at least 2 minutes to that, in my opinion. Okay. And then we moved on to Xana, who had more, and Xana had multiple defensive wounds. Okay. And almost lost her fingers, for God's sakes. That says a lot too. That's another 2 minutes to add to that situation, in my opinion. So it makes no sense how they did this. This is so unprofessional, so uncoordinated. It just blows my mind. and so stupid to me. There was something else about this statement here I didn't like either. We're okay. They did not add in the fact that we're told, unless it's not, struggle. Thank you, Dustin. I don't know why I didn't just say that. But why did they not add in that supposedly Kaylee runs up and down the stairs? They didn't add that into this. They didn't do any of that stuff. Hold on one second. All right, sorry. Let me see. There was another point in this that I absolutely detested. That they just did a basic walkthrough with this too. That's the other thing that kills me, and timed it that way, like it was nothing. Supposedly, there was a time when this person was in Xana's bedroom that they sat down and rested. That's not here. Welcome, JC. Good to see you, hon. Hemisphere. Good to see you, my friend. Ethan had, there's another thing. Ethan's legs that were cut up, supposedly. That took some time.
I think the sitting up, the sitting down thing has been debunked. That somebody on the prosecution side said that was never a thing, and that Dateline basically had bad information amongst several other things that Dateline had. Everything on Dateline was bad information, basically.
I was going to say, how did Dateline get bad information? I can't imagine that, you guys.
From the barnyards.
Yes, the barnyard.
The barnyard animals.
That's what they are, too. Tony DeWong, good to see you. Then wouldn't DNA... See, that's what I don't understand, okay? Thank you for making that statement, too, Tony. Then wouldn't DNA under fingernails be more important to put through CODIS and invisible? Yeah, it would be. And why, with what we know about Xana, like I said, almost losing her fingernails, why have we not gotten anything from her fingernails? Don't tell me that it's not there. There's no way it's not there. Something's got to be there. I mean, unless these people, whoever this was, or these people were literally clothed top to bottom, covered, even their faces completely covered, okay? There's no way that girl did not get a piece of skin somewhere, okay? I just don't believe that. She was rough and tumble. And like I said, knowing what we know about her defensive wounds, they were bad. So why is that not talked about? Why is there no lab reports on any of that? I don't get that. I don't get that. Is it because that it gives a different DNA? Because that's what I think it is, if they have it. My thought is they lost it, or it was burned up in a fire, or ruined in a fridge, or something stupid like that, because that's what they seem to do. So tired of that shit. Anybody else adding anything to this before we go? Oh, and they weren't asleep in the bed. That's another big thing. We know that. That's huge to me. I wish they quit saying that. But, and are we supposed to take Dylan's statement and add that to this now? That Kaylee was in the living room dancing with the dog and goes upstairs and screams. Somebody's in the house, comes back down. And how does she get back upstairs? They didn't do all that. That's not part of this. So once again, and I know I'm nitpicking little stupid shit, but that's important to me.
They're very important. See, the truth is that Kaylee was, probably dancing around in the second floor living room, went upstairs to go to bed, came running back down the stairs. That's the truth. The lie is, like you said, Daigle, they don't sleep in the same bed together. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's happened in the past, but not at this point. No, there's no reason for that.
What was the source of that? We got to ask ourselves.
I don't even remember at this point. I think it came out. Was it the PCA initially?
No.
It does seem odd that we get conflicting reports about who was drunk, who was drunker. We did see the grub truck video where it appeared that Maddie was completely blitzed. And then we get the driver report that Maddie was fine and Kaylee was completely blitzed.
Right.
Of course, Dylan's report is not consistent either. So
not even close. The only thing that makes sense to add. Wait, hold on. Sorry. The only thing that makes sense to add Molly's statement about the third floor and the girl having to be Xana. That's what I thought. The only person in the house with long dark hair is Xana. And a lot of, hey, legendary, good to see you, bud. A lot of people are saying that they believe it's somebody else.
But why would Xana be ducking every time somebody, trying to hide her face?
That's what I'm saying.
If there's any truth to that.
Exactly. That makes no sense. She lives there. If she was upstairs in that room visiting with one of her friends or roommates or whatever, then that's normal. Why would you hide yourself every time you look at somebody? And see, that's my problem, though. Molly's a liar, okay? And I struggle with a lot of what she says. But that detail, okay, here's the difference between what Molly says about one thing, but something else like this. There's Devil Woman. Good to see you. Welcome back. That's a very specific detail to make up or lie about. You guys know what I'm saying when I say that?
Which specific detail?
The fact that Molly McMichael said that she happened to, when she was out there doing whatever, she looked up to the third floor and she's seen a girl a couple of times duck out of the way to try to hide herself with long dark hair. Agreed. I don't believe 95.6% of what Molly says, but
I believe
that detail is kind of specified to make up out of nowhere, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't trust a lot of Molly, but that statement, it kind of bothers me a little bit. Is it possible? Was somebody up there like being a lookout for a situation that was going on? I thought when I first heard the statement, okay, so Xana's up there. And it was the third floor, right? One of the third floor, just to remind myself, sorry. Sorry, I'm stuttering all over everything. I'm trying to think at the same time.
While you're thinking, can I share something?
Please do.
Okay, this is from motion in limine number 2. It's the defense's filing. Item number 10, Detective Gilbertson. The state did not disclose Detective Gilbertson in their initial disclosures, but instead listed him as a rebuttal witness. The state did not identify any specific expert or opinion that the detective will rebut. Thus, the court should exclude this testimony as outside the scope of rebuttal and irrelevant. Moreover, the court should exclude the testimony under 403B. The relevance of this testimony is minimal at best and carries a serious risk of juror confusion. The detective walked alone through a house that he is intimately familiar with in the middle of broad daylight, more than 1 week after the house had been vacated and changed significantly due to homicide investigation. He simply counted out loud upon entering the rooms. This is a far, far cry from what the state alleges occurred. Additionally, Mr. Kohlberger attempted to learn more about the experiment through discovery. He sought things such as recordings or photographs of the timed run or written notes taken and documented during the experiment. Nothing was provided in discovery. The prosecution stated those items did not exist. I'll trail off there. You get the gist of it.
Yeah, I got you.
Sounds like a whole lot of stabbing air.
Yeah.
Sounds like just counting out loud without a knife.
Not even stabbing. That would
not even doing the movement. Yep. Thank you. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So again, more falsehoods put out there. Another statement, or not a statement, but another piece of this that bugs me is, well, one, I have issues with Molly, but that's fine. It was dark. It was nighttime. If you looked up, are you sure that you looked at the third floor and it wasn't the second floor? And it may be what I was saying was somebody dancing on the second floor, moving back and forth by the window instead of ducking away. Maybe she was just moving back and forth from the window, in and out of view from the window. And how the hell are you going to tell me she had dark hair looking up there from the street at nighttime? For sure. That's what my issue is, okay? I think it'd be hard to see the color hair from the outside looking in when there's a backlit area. That's just my opinion, though. I'm more prone to say that it was the second floor, not the third. That's just my opinion again. So there's that. And I just like you just explained, Eddie. They didn't do what they should have done here, and the way that it's not anything like what they wrote here. Is all I'm saying. So I'm calling bullshit on that.
And come on, chat, you guys. I'm not going to give you guys the answer. It's your project to.
Hey, you bet.
Try to figure out where we first heard about Maddie and Kaylee always slept in a bed together. Where was that rumor? Where did we get that fact?
That came from
Christy.
That came from Christy or Steve or Olivia, one of the two.
Yeah.
If not both.
It was from Christy, or?
Well, I don't know specifically.
It was one of those two. I'm pretty sure it came from them. But again, go ahead.
In general, just, the capital letter G,
The Gonzalez family.
With apostrophe, yeah, the G's.
I mean, they haven't given us any information really that we can use, have they? I mean, hasn't everything it feels like everything they've said has turned out to be fake. The way they describe the relationships with themselves and Kaylee, with Maddie and Kaylee,
right?
The withholding of the fact that Maddie and Kaylee had a blowout fight a couple weeks or months earlier.
Yeah.
I think at this point we can classify it as disinformation as opposed to misinformation.
Yeah. That's a good way.
Certainly, they were hiding the fact that she doesn't get along with them. But I still feel like Kaylee had a blowout fight with somebody in Moscow for her to want to leave and go to Rathdrum or Coeur d'Alene or wherever her aunt lives for 2 or 3 weeks. I just don't see a 21-year-old girl leaving that lifestyle for 3 weeks. Dudes, parties, alcohol, maybe drugs. Don't know about the drugs, but maybe.
And her and Maddie having their issue between each other that we know is a fact at this point could have been that reason too, Jesse. She didn't want to stay in the same house with her at that point, and I get that. Okay, that makes sense. But
one of the fight could tie into the "What did you tell Adam?" as well.
It could have whatever went down with that. Yeah,
nobody seemed thrilled about that other than Maddie.
That is true. Very true. One other thing that I want to throw into this too that we are not remembering is there was a cleanup done, and there was a huge mess at the top of the stairs on that wall. So at some point, if Brian did this, what happened at that point there at the stairwell? That had to take some time. And who was that? That's not worked into this. Okay. There's blood in the kitchen. What happened in there? Where did that come from? Where's that worked into this? None of those things are worked into this. We see it. We see the Amito Black stuff. Obviously, something happened at the top of the stairs. Obviously, something happened in the kitchen. What it is, we don't know. But why didn't they work those into this? Because that is more time, in my opinion. It's just not a straight shot in and out up the stairs. We don't even know. See, that's what pisses me off. They don't know that Brian or whoever did this walked in the house, went straight to the 3rd floor, killed those two, came down, walked straight into Xana's room, killed those two, and then left. We don't know that. They don't know that. So why did they put that in here like this? There's no way that they can. I want them to prove how they know that, because that brings it back to there being a target, in my opinion. And they themselves have said that there was no target. The house was a target. So explain that one to me, somebody.
I think Convos with Bootsy has got the answer here. But the only thing that explains it is that he's a ninja.
Yeah. Don't forget that, you guys. That Brian went in and killed Xana and Ethan at the exact same time with all 4 of his arms. Dockett said that Gilbertson's experiment provided some good data. Great proof of confirmation bias. Yeah, good point, bud. Good point.
About that sleeping in the bed together, I just want to, again, remind everyone on the 14th of November, Creme 2 news channel when sharing a statement by Olivia on behalf of the G family. Stop spreading rumors about what happened and wait for the facts from police.
Yep. That's a good point to keep going back to, for sure.
Yep. And then everything that comes out since is from sources. All the leaks. LE says nothing. And all along, from sources, little bits are dribbled out like little breadcrumbs for us to pick up.
Right. Very good point.
Guys, you've been duped.
In a lot of ways. Docket says, I'm not bashing Ann Taylor, and then quotes, I promise, Eddie. But why? And I do kind of question this myself. Why did she never bring up the blood everywhere and the cleanup part of it? Because unless she just was saving that for trial, I am curious about that myself, because I think that's kind of important. And I would have thought maybe it would have came out sooner. But again, I feel like maybe it's just because she was saving that for trial. I think there's a lot of things that she didn't get to bring out because they were being saved for trial, in my opinion. LeBrier, welcome. Good to see you. New name. I love it. I think Molly was looking at 1119 when talking about a girl with dark hair in the third story window ducking down. You know what? That's the house directly across the street. What do they call that? The hell's that house called? I can't remember, but you could be right, LeBrier. That makes some sense. There was people in that house, so that could make sense. Ann Taylor said there was a cleanup question. I could have swore. I don't remember. I think she said something about it, but she didn't go into the depths of the blood in the house and stuff like that is what my point was. And I think that's what Docket was talking about too. Again,
I believe her exact words were, there is evidence of cleaning.
Yeah.
But
she just didn't go into detail.
Of course,
right?
it was ignored.
Like it was. Yeah, she did say that. You guys are right. I just thought she would have gone in depth into the amounts of blood and where it was found, possibly. But again, like I said, it could have been being saved for trial. Where are we at here? That's a great question too. I want to know who is so untouchable that they couldn't investigate properly. That's a great point too. Whatever the cover up is, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. Okay.
Yeah, great point.
That's where it's at. Yes, we're down to 6 days. I know. Believe me, I've been marking them off, sadly. This says here, I conducted 2 timed runs, the first being a quick as possible run, and the second a slower, deliberate timed run. During the first initial run, I began at the rear of the residence, came through the sliding glass door. I then quickly moved through the kitchen and up the stairs. I looked into the bedroom to the left and then moved down the hallway and into Mogan's bedroom. I simulated the number of strikes that were inflicted upon Mogan and Gonsalves. Detective Talbot counted and kept track in an attempt to recreate the movements and motions believed to have occurred based on the evidence collected in autopsy reports. I moved out of the bedroom, down the stairs, through the living room, down the hallway, and into Corneto's bedroom. Again, with the assistance of Talbot, I simulated the number of strikes that were inflicted upon Corneto and Chapin. I then exited down the hallway, through the living room, through the kitchen, and out the sliding glass door. Corporal Payne reported a time of approximately 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's such bullshit. On the quick as possible timed run. And on the second run, slower and deliberate, I followed the same path through the residence, but at a much slower, methodical pace. I again entered through. Hold on a minute. I need to write that down because that one really, I just want to laugh at that. I followed. Go ahead, buddy.
Who is doing this experiment?
It's Payne and Gilbertson. Or no. Talbot and Payne. I'm sorry.
Okay, gotcha.
Or no, wait a minute. I think I just lied to you twice. Who is this? Is it? No, it is Talbot and Payne. Okay. So a minute and 30 seconds.
Motion eliminating number 2 that I was reading to you guys was Gilbertson.
Gotcha. Welcome, Malcolm Justice. Thank you, Biggie. Good to see you as well. On the second run, slower and deliberate, I followed the same path through the residence, but at a much slower, methodical pace. I again entered through the rear sliding glass door, opening it slowly to make no noise. While doing so, I then walked as quietly as I could through the kitchen, up the stairs, attempting to make no noises. I looked into the first bedroom, then slowly moved down the hallway and into Mogan's bedroom. Detective Talbot counted, and I kept track again as I recreated the movements and motions believed to have occurred inside the bedroom. I exited the bedroom, moved back down the stairs, through the living room, down the hallway, and into Kernodle's bedroom. The movement to Kernodle's bedroom was slower than the first run, but still somewhat quick. I again simulated the movements and motions that took place inside Kernodle's bedroom. I then exited down the hallway, through the living room, through the kitchen, and out the sliding glass door. Corporal Payne reported a time of approximately 2 minutes and 33 seconds. These are such bullshit, you guys. The defensive part of this alone completely doubles, maybe triples that, in my opinion. This is ridiculous. We additionally walked through simulated paths that Kuberger may have possibly taken from the vehicle to the back of the residence, the shortest and most direct path going from the parking lot and moving east to west along the back of the house took approximately 30 seconds. A second path starting at the southern edge of the property and walking a fence line through some trees and moving in a south to north direction towards the back of the house took approximately 1 minute. The times to make the same two paths at a running pace were approximately 6 to 7 seconds for the short path and 10 to 12 seconds for the longer path. The timed runs revealed that it was possible for Koberger to have carried out the murders in as few as 2 minutes and 6 seconds, going at a fast pace on the shortest route to the vehicle, or as much as 3 minutes and 45 seconds, going at a slower pace on a longer route to the vehicle. This concluded the simulated time runs through the residence. This makes me so fucking infuriated. You have no idea. The lack of professionalism with this is insane to me. And, like, why didn't... I swear to God, my son could have investigated this better than these guys did.
Yeah, this is not the work product of an investigation. It's a work product of a conspiracy, a cover-up.
It's a joke. It's
framing.
Beyond a joke. We know, like, would you take that in? Isn't it normal to take something like that into account? The struggle, the defensive fighting, and all that kind of stuff in a situation like this, knowing that it existed? I don't get it. I don't. That's what I'm saying, Tony, right there. You can't recreate a scene without knowing the struggle portion details from start to end. Thank you. It makes me so mad. Once again. Okay, I'm sorry, Devil Woman. Didn't mean to stress that. So, throughout Moscow homicide investigation, the Idaho State Police Detective Hugh Powell conducted video evidence recovery from various businesses. All videos were turned over to the digital evidence team located at Moscow PD, of course. On November 20th, Detective Powell met with security manager at blank blank, located at blank in the city of Moscow. Latah County, Idaho. Digital evidence was downloaded from their security cameras. I turned the evidence over to the digital evidence team located at MPD. On November 22nd, Detective Powell met with the manager of blank blank blank, located at blank in the city of Moscow, Latah County, Idaho. Digital evidence was downloaded from their security cameras. I turned the evidence over to the team located at MPD. On the 22nd, again, Detective Powell met with blank blank at blank, located at blank in the city of Moscow, Latah County, Idaho. Digital evidence was downloaded from their security cameras, and I turned the evidence over again. Same thing. On 22nd, Powell met with blank, the regional manager. So these are all the same thing, guys. They're meeting up with business managers and owners and whatnot, collecting all of their all their camera evidence and stuff that they had, and changing it over to the disk and sending it to MPD. That's what every one of these is. Has he made a claim of innocence at all, implied or otherwise? Well, When he was first arrested, his attorney verified that he said, "I can't wait to be exonerated for this." So that tells me that he's kind of claiming innocence there. And the fact that he stood silent, I think that kind of does, because when he did that, Triple J put in a plea of not guilty. So implied, or, whatever you want to call it. I believe that's what those were. Okay, next up, this is Detective Schwecke and Detective Powell. On November 18th of 22 at approximately 6:23 p.m. By the way, if I'm irritating anybody in here, I don't mean to when I say certain things. It just, I voice my feelings on this, and I always have, and I'm very frustrated with this, as obviously it was stated that you guys are too. I get that, and I don't mean to oversay things again and again. I can't not do it because I feel that way, and I express myself a lot. So I don't mean to irritate anybody by stating things again and again. Again, my apologies if that does do that. Detective Schwecke and I interviewed Blank over the telephone, and Blank provided the following information. Blank lives with his girlfriend, who is a blank, and she went to bed early. He stayed up until 2:30, playing video games and working on homework, since he is an outlying blank at blank. After going to bed, he had been asleep for approximately an hour when he was awoken by a vehicle with loud exhaust speeding away down the street past his house. Wait, what time was that? 2:30. So it'd be 3:30. So it's not that vehicle that came at 4:30, because that would have been 2 hours later. Because I'm thinking of that vehicle that showed up at 4:30 with the loud, you know what I mean, you guys? So that would have been 2 hours, not 1 hour. So, okay, I'm just trying to put this together in my head. Anyway, he assumed it was a white Audi that parks near his, is it an Audi or a BMW that parks near his house quite frequently and has a loud aftermarket exhaust. The Audi normally parks near the cul-de-sac on the end of King Road, and he believed that it would have occurred around 3 to 4:30 a.m. Well, then, okay, maybe it would be 4:30 then. They put that in there, but was unsure since he didn't check his clock. After the vehicle traveled past his house, he believed the vehicle turned onto Taylor Avenue going east by way of the sound the vehicle was coming from. At approximately 18:34 hours, we concluded the interview. Okay, hold on a minute. So let me back this up. He assumed it was a white Audi. He didn't see the vehicle, and this is between 3 and 4:30 a.m. And that is the vehicle that we heard at 4:30. But we hear it stop at the house and shut and turn they turn the vehicle off. So I'm trying to put myself where he lives as compared to this. It wasn't speeding anywhere. It was driving slow too. So I don't know if this is true or not. Or maybe he just heard a different vehicle, but we don't see another vehicle in any of these videos. Speeding away down the street past his house, he assumed it was this frequent King. He believed. Okay, well, either way, that's interesting. FBI teams completed multiple 3D scans and photographs of the residence and surrounding area prior to the members entering the residence. ISP Detective Talbot completed a walkthrough. I confirmed residence was structurally the same as it was on the 13th. At the request of OPU Special Agent S.A. Bill Denman, I downloaded a copy of the .3D scans, and I completed on November 13th in LAS format, provided it to MPD. All right, guys, give me one quick sec. Hold on a minute here. Rules of the grand jury. Okay. If you guys want to talk for just a second, I'll be right back. I got to go to the little boys' room. Excuse me for a minute.
Gosh, did anybody recall when those 3D scans were done? Did that document say that?
I don't know much about the 3D scans, but I got a question for you, Eddie.
Yeah.
I'm having a I'm having trouble just wrapping my head around the Idaho 4 case lately. You know, I consume a lot of information. I try to keep up. And like I've said a few times, every time I sleep for 5 hours, it feels like I'm 2 weeks behind. And, you know, I consume some stuff that would be considered conspiratorial or conspiracy theory stuff, you know, was confidential informants, you know, some really out there sort of stuff. And I try not to talk about that too much because while I find it interesting, I just don't think it's very helpful to put it out there unless you can really back it up. But I mean, I'm starting to wonder, should we even consume it? Should we go down those roads? Should we stick to what we're doing here and stick to the documents and try and keep it straight? So option A, we go down those roads, entertain conspiracy theories. Option B, we stick to the straight and narrow with the documents. Or option C, that the lines have blurred so much that they're one and the same now.
It takes so long. You know, we only have a given amount of time to go over the information. So the information you go over should be, you know, you should be selective about it, right? Mm-hmm. Now more than ever, it seems there's more disinformation that's being put out there. There's got to be a reason why. But I would say just stick with what we would consider like the case facts, not the gossip and the propaganda. But yeah, these documents, everything that is provided to us, keeping in mind the source. You know, if it's from the state, you got to look at it with a skeptical eye. Just because it's in the case record, so to speak, that's not a true guide. So be watchful of that.
Right. And what Lucy just said is really kind of a good statement. When you have the city arguing legal basis on why not to release information on because people are conspiracy theorists, maybe it's a good thing to consume it all and trust nothing. And I agree with her wholeheartedly.
I guess my point is some of the stuff that was written off as conspiracy theory early on seems to have come to fruition. And when I talk about conspiracy theorists, I should clarify, I don't mean the tarot card readers and the TikTok channel. I mean like bigger channels that just have a little bit, that go a little bit over and beyond what's in the documents and push the speculation a little further. If you know what I mean. I'm sure you do know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll give you one clear example. So we were always led to believe that the 3 loops around the house, you know, that was his car. So we know where we got that information, but now it has come out that the state knew Brian wasn't around the residence. He didn't even stop his vehicle and have his phone in a stationary condition near the residence. So while we were being conspiracy theorists, you know, when they handed us that fake information about the 3 loops, and that's him driving, and anyone who doubted it was a conspiracy theorist, but time has shown that we weren't the conspiracy theorists. Asking the right questions brought us, you know, we could smell right through the smoke screen they were putting out, I guess.
Yep. Yes. Nina, I'm always willing to listen to something from that side of things. I always have been. But anytime I've tried to, with anybody that's come in here, I'm not saying you would do that. I know you wouldn't, but anybody else that has come across that way has always attacked us because of what we think and called us stupid and argued and won't listen or even want to listen to anything we have to say about how we feel about things. But I'm always willing to listen to what you would call a guilter side of things. Always have been. So just so you know that.
Oh, good information. Thank you, Meanie. Look at that. So 3D scans were done on October 31st. How useful could that be? Can think of that, everybody. A little late.
First, yeah, just a little. You think?
And what do the three? What are they looking for with the 3D scans?
They used those for the
model.
yeah, that's what they built the dollhouse with, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was that their intent? Isn't the purpose of the 3D scan to lock in what that crime scene looked like as quickly as possible after the moment of the crime?
Yeah.
To preserve, the state of things in a three-dimensional model.
Gotcha.
So because over time the actual crime scene is going to change and decay and whatever. So you do that 3D scan, and like they say, a photograph is an impartial witness.
Right, and
Lucy it doesn't lie.
Yeah, no, true, very true. Lucy said they did them twice, once in November and then October 31st.
I do remember that as well.
So
right.
It feels like a deliberate attempt to ensure that the 3D scan was delayed.
Docket decoder is I like Docket decoder. I'm a big fan, Docket decoder.
Oh yeah, me too. He said he needs new conspiracy theories. All his came true.
That's kind of what I was saying. If you heard what I said, Dago, is option C is the lines have been blurred so far that is it even worth differentiating anymore?
Right. Agreed. And Nina, okay. I know you would never do that, hon. I absolutely understand. I know. I have more respect for you than probably most anybody I have seen that believes that Brian's guilty. So you would never have to. I would never let anybody attack you, and I know you would never go at anybody like that. So no worries with that, dear. Where are we at here?
Real quick,
that was great, Decoder. I love that. Go ahead.
And he says, "Oh wait, that report also says some were taken November 13th." So it'd be interesting to know, exactly the 3D, all the details of the 3D scan.
Right. I still can't get past the fact that they only, and I've heard people argue why they only built the 2 rooms. I'm sorry, but that's not good for me. That's not enough for me. I understand that's where that you're claiming that the murders happened was those 2 bedrooms, but that entire house is a crime scene, not just those 2 rooms. That was not going to be enough for me at that point, the way that model was put together. I'm sorry. And I'd never really had got to say that, but
Ann Taylor could have been able to use that. I mean, on cross-examination of the whoever is presenting it is why didn't you build the rest of the rooms? You're certain that those rooms are insignificant? I mean, as a juror, you would think, why don't they have those other rooms?
That's what I would have thought as a juror. That's my point, Jesse, 100%. Why didn't you show us where he entered the home? Why didn't you show us where he exited the home? Why don't, I'm all of that.
It sure does feel to me like this was a winnable trial, regardless of who the judge was, as long as the jury wasn't rigged.
And I think that was one of the worries on the defense's side. At the end of this, I'm sure that they were worried about that, which could, again, be part of the whole plea, in my opinion. So, just saying. Have a good day, Kate. Don't work too hard, hon.
What number are we on? Because Meanie says that it's ISP Supplement 197 about the 3D scans.
Yeah, we just went through that one right here. The FBI teams completed multiple 3D scans. Let me go back to on October 31st and November 1st. Yeah, there you go. Members of the FBI Evidence Response Team, ER2 Operational Projects Unit OPU, and Salt Lake City Division of SU responded to the house. They completed multiple 3D scans and photographs of the residence and surrounding area. Prior to members entering the residence, Idaho State Police Detective Talbert completed a walkthrough. I confirmed the residence was structurally same as it was on November 13th. Where'd you go, Jess? And at the request of OPU Special Agent Bill Denman, I downloaded a copy of the .3D scans I completed on the 13th in LAS format and provided it to MPD.
Okay. Well, this is a report. It's not discovery. It would be interesting to see if Anne ever got that into her discovery.
Right.
Because if they had it, what's the purpose of doing it a year later?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, one of them was for the model, and I think the other ones were initially like November 1st. Those were initially I could be wrong, but my understanding is that they had done those in general, and then the other ones they did it again because they were going to put that model together. Because I don't think
they never announced that. That's just us.
No, you're right.
From filling in the blanks and creating a story that makes sense to us. But
yeah,
we just learned that they just did it again without any explanation.
Right. Why even bother with 3D scans at all when your final product is not to scale anyway? Right. That's exactly it right there. I don't think they were initially going to build the model, and that's why they did them the second time. Because I think, wasn't it supposed to be that they were going to do like a virtual walkthrough thing where everybody's going to wear those virtual headset things or something like that? We had talked or heard about somewhere. That was what was going to happen. And then they opted to do this instead. I remember that from somewhere. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's okay. But I swear I remember that. Ann said 2 of the rooms came from the OG scan and the rest of the house is from the scans in 23. Okay. I don't know. That's crazy. Good to see you, Transformer. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel, after all the lies, I just feel skeptical. It's like this report is trying to, let's just assume that if there was a scan, done supposedly, as we're told, November 13th, and it doesn't exist anymore. This report is for the purpose of trying to say, yeah, it was done when in actuality it never was.
Right.
Does that make sense? Yeah, we did one.
Right.
The storage card where we had it, sadly got eaten by the dog. That can't be helped.
Truly surprised we haven't heard that one yet either.
Yeah. Right.
Truly, you never know. We might. What's up, Kent? What am I holding on for, bud? Yeah, the dog ate the work. Did I miss 195? We did it. We did it. Hold on. 195. Yeah, that was the one that I was complaining about, I think. Wait a minute. No, this is the one where they collected all the information from various businesses. Yes, we did cover that one. Is there something specifically in here, Kent, that you were interested in? Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier, probably before you got in here, Gaia. Is there more proof than this that they did 3D scans on November 13th of 22? I didn't hear. I think there's a document about it. I don't remember which one, but I do think there is. I'm blown away by all this. What part are you blown away by, Hanks?
There you go. I'm just dying to learn more about this bear attack. Can you imagine a bear attack in the house that chased all the detectives out of the house, lost all the work?
Right. Well, that's as bad as remember the I can't remember who the hell put it out there that there a cougar or a mountain lion went in and attacked the kids, and that's what happened to him. Remember that story from way back? I almost quit. I almost quit true crime when that came out. It was crazy. Was there something specifically in here, Kent, that you wanted to hear again or wanted to hear specifically? It's crazy that they never took the mattresses out of the 2 rooms where the kids died until Anne requested they go and retrieve the stuff. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing there, but oh no, I know that the both defense and the prosecution were good with the house being torn down, 100%. I wasn't okay with it, which doesn't mean anything, but you know, the Gonsalves family definitely was not okay with it too. I think it would have been better off if they would have had the actual, which doesn't matter because we never got to trial, but the actual crime scene. With most other cases I've seen, they go to the crime scene itself. They go through the whole thing and walkthroughs and whatever else it was. But I don't know. They both were absolutely okay with it, which I'm confused about. I don't get it. I heard the reasons why the defense was, and I heard the reasons why the prosecution was. It just doesn't process for me the right way. I'm just confused. Yeah, Kent, come on up, bud. Whatever you wanted to tell. It's like I said, guys. That's the whole point in this. We go through these. If we need to stop and talk about specific things for anybody, you're more than welcome to, Kent. So go ahead and pull it up there, buddy. Welcome back. Good to have you today, sir.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Sorry to butt in here, but
No. You're good.
You're not butting in. I don't know anything except for
I found this very interesting this morning. I was watching Lana's video, and in the first 5 minutes, she was going over this document 195, and then document 201, and then she went and referred to a Moscow document. But all this stuff here, if we look at the dates, it says that this stuff was turned over to Moscow.
Right.
Even before they had it.
November 20th, 22nd.
And then if you refer to the I think it was 201 she was looking at.
Uh-huh.
This information was collected according to the dates of each one of them. This stuff was collected after the date that they already said that they turned it over to Moscow. How did that happen?
Okay, so it says...
How can you turn something over when you don't have it yet?
That's right. Absolutely. So it says on the 20th through the 23rd, they went to these businesses, collected all these, and each one of them says that they turned the evidence over to the digital evidence team located at Moscow PD.
She was saying, who is that digital evidence team? There's no... And she said that the chief investigator... This is all in the first 6 minutes of Lana's video this morning, but she said that the chief investigator also didn't do an interview until after Brian was arrested, according to the dates in these reports.
Okay. You're talking about Gilbertson or Payne?
Gilbertson.
Okay.
Didn't do a single interview as the head investigator
until after Brian was arrested.
That's the way that she was talking about it this morning on Truth and Transparency.
Right.
So I just wanted to bring that up. So it's 195 and 201 here. And then there's a certain number, and I think in the Moscow reports that if you compare the two of them, it says that the Moscow report or whatever says that they turned all the information, all these here information's over. I think it's on the 21st. Is that one dated the 21st?
The date on the actual report date was August 3rd of 23, and then down here it says November 20th through the 20. Doesn't say 21st, but it says 22nd and 23rd, and then December 13th.
Okay, and I think in the Moscow report it says they got them on the 19th.
Oh, okay, that's crazy.
Anyways, that's what I want to point out with 195 and 201 in this, and I'm not sure the number she said in the. But all this information was supposed to have been turned over to Moscow even before it was collected.
Okay, so what? So MPD is stating that they received all this on November 19th. And they didn't even have it until the 20th through the 23rd. That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
And then they couldn't tell them who was the, like there it says it turned them over to the digital forensic team.
Yeah, the digital
but
evidence.
They couldn't specify who the digital forensic team was.
That's interesting. Good catch. Of course, Lana's going to catch it because she does that.
Anyways, I'll let you go and you can look at that and see it for yourselves.
Yes, thank you so much, Kent. Listen, anybody in the chat, I'm going to make a statement real quick. Nina's never been anything but polite when she comes in here. She's never been anything but nice, and I respect her very much, even though she has an opposing feeling than I do on this case. Nobody's going to be disrespectful to her or each other, or you'll be removed. Understand that, okay? That's all I'm saying. We have nothing to say that just because somebody has an opposing opinion, we don't need to go call people names and be angry with them because they feel differently than we do. It makes no sense to feel that way, folks. They get up every day and put their pants on one leg at a time like we do. There are people that are ignorant out there. There are people that are mean and nasty out there. She's not one of them. So do not be disrespectful to her. I don't expect to see anybody being disrespectful in here, okay? Even if I'll deal with it and my mods will deal with it if they're doing that. We don't need to do that. But Nina's not one of those people. So please don't do that. Don't. Whoever it was, I don't know who did it, but please don't do it. That's all I'm saying. Nina has every right to express her feelings just as anybody else in here does. Just because it's different, it doesn't mean a damn thing. So, thank you. And I appreciate you guys understanding that. I'm not being harsh. I just want to. I'm not being mean by any means, guys. I promise you, I'm not being mean. I just want to make sure everybody understands that. And I appreciate the apology. I didn't know who did it, so. And thank you again, Nina. My apologies, and she apologized. I'm grateful that you guys can do that. That's what I love. That's why I love this community. So no, I'm not being harsh at all. I just want to explain that. That's all I'm doing, because some people are newer that come in here. That's all. And that's what I love this community for, because people can do that. So yeah, but Nina, you're always welcome. Like I said, if you want to come up and have a discussion in regards to your thoughts and feelings on things, I'm absolutely open to hearing that anytime. You know that. And that's true. We all had the same opinions. There's enough echo chambers out here. I can promise you that much. So thank you, Kent, for that info too, by the way. That's
that's yet another inconsistency.
Again, yeah.
Add to the tally.
That one's crazy though, Eddie. They're saying that they received this information on November 19th, and it wasn't even received. They didn't even get it until 3 days later, and then some.
Inevitable, as that's a result of a fictional investigation. No real investigation took place in this case.
That's it. They screwed up. They didn't realize, oh shit, we didn't have the dates in line. So this is ridiculous shit, folks. This stuff like this right here. And don't tell me it's a mistake. No, we're not doing that anymore. You cannot make these mistakes again and again and again and again and be okay. And it's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's where my issue is. That is where my issue is right there. One of the big ones too. Thank you, Kent, for pointing that out. And of course, gotta love Lana. She's always good at finding these things. And I probably would have maybe noticed it when we hit 201, but maybe not either. So,
you know what? They don't even have to explain it away. They got the judge to cover for that because,
yeah,
like, he will just say in his order that the defense is quibbling over semantics.
right, absolutely. Hold on a minute here. I feel shut down by one person. No, Jamie, you're welcome to talk about anything you want to as well. I wasn't yelling by any means. I just talk loud because I sometimes don't get heard. I wasn't yelling, not being mean, not angry with anybody. I just want to make sure everybody understands how we do things. That's all. And I didn't. It was somebody. If somebody was rude to you, that's not acceptable either. And I want to know about that. So I didn't. I don't see everything because my chat rolls by pretty quick when we have a certain amount of people in here. But if somebody's being rude to you, that doesn't fly that way either. I don't do it on either direction, folks. Just understand that. So that's unacceptable as well. I don't know that it was Lena. Nina doesn't do that. So whoever it was, if it was somebody, don't do it again. That's all I'm telling you. And my apologies to you, Jamie, if somebody was rude to you. Okay. Yeah, we don't name call or anything like that. There's no point in that. It's just we're adults and it doesn't go anywhere. That's all. So everybody's okay, I hope. Apologies were made, and I'm apologizing as well for it happening here, and I don't accept those kinds of things happening in here. So I am again sorry that happened. Let's see. When the lead prosecutor is seated at the bench, no need to worry about the bullshit in your yes. That's a good point. Again, I told you guys it seemed to me that Hitler was working for the prosecution, but hey, that's just my opinion. What do I matter? So this is the Sutton walkthrough with ISP. It says that on December 21st of 23, T. Paulette Sutton. Oh, thank you so much, Kat. God bless. I don't know who got that. Whoever did, congrats. Welcome to the sauce. We appreciate that so very much. And your generosity as well, Kat. That's amazing. God bless. T. Paulette Sutton, bloodstain pattern analyst. Oh, you did it again. Good Lord. Thank you again, Kat. SRB, can you see who picked these up? It looks like Hanks may have gotten one. If you did, congrats. You did. Congrats. If I don't know if you wanted it or not, but welcome to the sauce, Hanks. I appreciate you very much for joining us. And if you like it here, you're welcome to stay, of course. And thank you so very much, Kat. God bless. I appreciate that. That's very generous of you. Welcome, Jane G. Ori. Good to see you as well. All right. And from here on, mods, you know what to do. You got the chat. I gotta keep going here. So thank you again, everybody, for being here with us. I appreciate each and every one of you. Bloodstain pattern analyst consultant responded to 1122 King Road, Moscow, Latah County, Idaho. Also present were Latah County prosecuting attorney Bill Thompson, Ashley Jennings, Moscow PD Corporal Brett Payne, and Sergeant Darren Gilbertson. Sutton completed a walkthrough of the residence prior to Sutton entering the residence. ISP Detective Jeffrey Talbot completed a walkthrough of the residence. I confirmed the residence was structurally the same as it was on the 13th. Let me state one more thing real fast to you guys. Whatever happens in somebody else's chat in another channel that happens there. It stays there. We don't do it here. And please, if something did happen there, leave it there. Don't bring it here. And I'm not saying anybody did, but I do like to state these things when I see newer people come in sometimes because it's happened in the past. Not saying it will, but anything that happens somewhere else has nothing to do with what goes on here. We leave those there and we do what we do here. That's all. So thank you guys again. I'm sorry to interrupt myself in reading this. So, so they keep checking the structurality with these every time we do this. I guess that's part of what they're supposed to do. During September of 23, Latah County received emails alleging violations of the Idaho grand jury rules about the case against Brian Koberger. Imagine that. The court sent the allegations to the prosecution and the defense. ISP Sergeant Darren Gilbertson conducted follow-up on the allegations. On September 7th, after receiving the initial email alleging violations of Idaho grand jury rules, I emailed the sender blank, 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 requesting more information. I advised her that I was assigned to the investigation and wanted further clarification regarding the screenshots that she had attached to the email. I received a follow-up email from blank on the same day. She stated the screenshots originated from blank, 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 and blank, blank. She provided the email addresses for both. See the email attachment for full information. Welcome, Too Fast. Good to see you. Welcome back, Molly. You're okay. Let's see here. I did not receive any reply or contact from either of these individuals. On October 12th of 23, Detective Brett Payne of MPD and I emailed Shannon Gray requesting a meeting. Mr. Gray is the attorney representing the family of Kaylee Gonsalves. We requested to speak regarding the screenshots showing conversations that appear to reference blank blank. Kaylee Gonsalves speaking to individuals about the whole, wait a minute, folks. Speaking to individuals about the grand jury proceedings. We did not receive any reply or contact back from Mr. Gray regarding our request. So if you're not following along, folks, let me refresh this one more time. There were alleged violations of the grand jury rules. What they're basically stating here is that the Gonsalves family violated the rules with the grand jury and was talking to the people. We've heard this in the past a little bit, but here's like a verification of it. That there were screenshots of, I guess, text messages between probably Steve, talking to the people that were in the grand jury.
What is Christie's middle? Christie's middle name.
Oh shit! Does anybody know Christie's middle name? I never did know that.
Okay, because the reason I'm asking, so in paragraph 3, right about in the middle, it says, "We requested to speak regarding the screenshots showing conversations that appear to reference blank, period. Blank Kaylee Gonsalves, comma, speaking to individuals about," so it's a first name in that, that whatever's redacted is someone's first name.
Yeah, it says it showing conversations that appear to reference Steve and Christy Gonsalves. Or no, okay. I bet you this is maybe Christy or Steve Gonsalves, father of Kaylee Gonsalves, maybe.
By the way, was I right? Is that a period between those two blacked out?
It's a comma, Eddie.
Okay,
yeah,
my bad.
So it would mean like maybe Steve Gonsalves, comma, father to Kaylee Gonsalves. Would that make sense?
Yeah, yep.
Or Christy, maybe, or Olivia. It could be any of the names, but yeah, I got you.
Okay, so the punctuation matters.
It does. Definitely does. It definitely does. And then because there's a comma after Kaylee Gonsalves speaking. So one of the Gonsalves, obviously, we heard this before months ago, but here's a verification of it. We're interacting with the grand jury people, which is not allowed at all. Okay. We did not receive any reply or contact back from Mr. Gray regarding our request. Of course, they're not going to admit to it. On October 12th, I was forwarded email showing screenshots from a Facebook page that was titled the Gonsalves Family Page. The screenshots show some of the same screenshots that were forwarded to the court by blank part of the posting stated. We recently were made aware of the messages claiming to have fabricated texts from blank, as well as trying to incite other. Oh, wait a minute now. Stop. Hold on. So they're basically saying that this didn't happen now. In this document, they're saying that. But it's known that it happened. It's also known that, and I'm not degrading Steve by any means. Don't think that, folks. But whatever reason why he did what he did, he was doing those things to get answers. I know that much. He reached out. I have the messages between him and Brad Norton. I have the clear messages, okay, and what it says. I got those two years ago. It also, if we remember that Steve was supposed to meet up with an informant of sorts, and the FBI threatened him that if you do, you will be arrested, so on and so forth. So he was doing these things, and now they're trying to deny it, saying that they were all fabricated. Are you kidding me?
This goes to show that anything done wrong can be fixed.
Well, you know why they did this right here, Eddie, because if this happened and it's true, guess what that means? That the whole grand jury thing is thrown out. Okay. Right. And they couldn't do that because that would screw this whole thing up. So they had to make sure that they lied about it and said it was fabricated so that nobody got in trouble. This is insane. Like you said, if something happens, they can fix it every time. And they did. That right there is proof of corruption, folks. If you don't believe there's corruption, look at this right here. We know for a fact these things went on. Okay. I personally have some of the messages that were sent to me. They were not fabricated because he admitted to doing it. He admitted to doing it. He admitted to talking to people. He admitted to leaking things. So why are we lying now? This is what pisses me off about this. I'm sorry, but this is bullshit. This is what has happened in this case, and this is why this man is sitting in prison right now, and nobody wants to look any other direction. Everything it did. He admitted to all these things. He went, yeah, you're right, Paco. He went door to door talking to people, period. And then he admitted that he talked to people with the grand, all of this shit. And they're staying right here that this was fabricated. Shut up. This is ridiculous. I don't even know what to say besides what I've said, but Eddie?
Yeah, and we're the conspiracy theorists.
This really happened, you guys. It absolutely happened. And they're blatantly lying to us right here. As well as trying to incite others to spread lies. While we understand the internet is a big place and people are free to say whatever they would like, we personally feel a line was crossed and we would like to pursue further action. If anyone knows any more about these screenshots, knows who created them, what they said, etc., and would feel comfortable sharing with us, we would be extremely appreciative. This was the last information that was received about the allegations of violations of Idaho grand jury rules. And all emails and attached screenshots will be provided to MPD to enter into evidence. You've got to be kidding me. Nothing else happened. Nothing else happened. Everything went on as it's supposed to. Unbelievable. And in trying to incite others to spread lies. Claiming to have fabricated texts from blank, as well as trying to incite others to spread lies about, wow. Well, there it is. Running that propaganda train that Brian's guilty. That's how you had to do this to get him convicted, folks. You couldn't be honest about it. You had to make this shit happen. See, this is what made me mad about the Gonsalves family. As much as they went through, I still have issues with the way they did this. This is not how this is supposed to be done. And it's not okay.
The victims' surviving family members have an aura of invincibility around them. Like this convos with Bootsy says, scrolling, bear with me.
I'm trying to find it to pull up here. Is it?
We knew we were all said to be horrible people for blaming them. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Victim shaming. That's what it was. And that's not what it was. Right. We just want to know the truth. That was it.
The state can use them as an agent to do whatever because they're untouchable.
They did. And at the end of it, look who you lost out, Steve. You did what they wanted you to do, and you did not get what you were promised. And look what it did. Was it worth it? I mean, I guess in some sense it was because he's in prison. But yeah. Thank you so much, Hoffy. I appreciate that. It's been a while, man. It's good to see you. Hi, everyone. Dago, keep being real. It matters. I'm trying. I am definitely trying, my friend, and I will not stop doing it. That's a promise. Thank you so much, my friend. That's unbelievable, you guys, that they blatantly Oh my God. Anyway, on December 9th of 22, Detective Herman and Detective Adams Jr. interviewed blank blank and her husband blank regarding their connection to the Gonsalves through babysitting services. After conducting an interview with a female student named blank, see case number D2230, supplement number 117. On December 8th of 22, Detective Adams Jr. of the Idaho State Police learned that Kaylee Gonsalves had been a babysitter for a family in Moscow, the Moscow, Idaho area during the summer of 22. The family blank, date of birth of 85, blank, date of birth of 88, and their 2 children lived at blank. After the interview with blank, I obtained blank phone numbers and I requested the cast agents to check the time frame for which we had cell phone data at the time. Blank data appeared to place blank phone at their residence on the night of the murders. However, when I checked blank's phone data, his location was not within the data collected. This can occur if the phone is turned off. Based on the information from blank and the lack of data for blank, we decided to interview both blank. On December 9th of 22, Detective Herman and I interviewed blank at her place of employment. She works for blank, period. Blank had not sent in any tips regarding Gonsalves' employment with her as a babysitter. I began the interview with blank and asked her if Gonsalves had been babysitting for her or any other families. Blank confirmed that Gonsalves did babysit for her and may have babysat for another family, but wasn't sure. Blank told me her husband blank had introduced her to blank, who coordinated childcare for blank. Stated the only way that she paid the girls was via Venmo app on her phone. Excuse me. Blank stated that Gonsalves had provided childcare for them a few weeks during the spring semester of 22. She told us the last time Gonsalves babysat for them was on her 21st birthday. Blank stated Gonsalves had babysat for them 5 or 6 times total. Blank stated that they paid each girl $15 an hour for their work. Blank stated that Gonsalves was not a full-time employee. Blank stated that most of the work occurred during the week. I asked blank what a normal routine for her family was when there was a football game at home because blank, period. Blank explained that her and the family usually attend the home games. And for 1 second, you guys.
And for the game on November 12th, 2022, they had family in town for the game. Blank stated she attended the game and then went home after. Blank told me she did not see any of the victims of the murder at the game. Blank told me her and her family, minus blank, were at home when they found out about the murder that occurred near the university. She told me blank was in the office when the University of Idaho Kibbe Dome. Let me read that again. She told me blank was in the office when the University of Idaho Kibbe Dome, when it was put into a lockdown situation. You back, Dago?
Yeah, my son was talking to me, but I can start reading if you want me to.
I can keep reading. It's just a bit small, but I'm willing to continue on if you want.
Is that better?
Yeah. Okay. Number 7. I asked blank about her personal interaction with Gonsalves. She described her as bubbly and a great person. Blank said the only time she ever saw her not happy was after her 21st birthday. Blank told me Goncalves arrived at her house to watch the children appearing to be hungover. Blank said she helped Goncalves feel better. I asked Blank if there were any other applications other than a messaging application they used to communicate or schedule babysitting. She told me there wasn't. I asked how the girls who babysat were paid. She told me it was all through Venmo. Blank stated she was paying the girls $15 an hour to babysit. Blank told me she never had any conversations with Goncalves outside of babysitting, except for when Goncalves arrived at her house to babysit on her 21st birthday. Blank told me Goncalves quit being a babysitter for her, and Blank learned Goncalves had accepted a job as an intern for some sort of IT company. Blank told us that for the new job, Goncalves was going to work remotely for the IT company and offered to continue watching the kids during the summer. Blank explained she learned the internship was 40-hour week internship that paid $25 an hour. Blank told me the last time she had contact with Goncalves was in July of 2022. Number 9. Towards the end of the interview, I asked Blank if there was ever an inappropriate relationship between herself and Goncalves, or between Blank and Goncalves, or any inappropriate relationship with any of the other babysitters. Blank told me there had never been any inappropriate relationships that she was aware of. Blank told me that Blank had little to no interaction with any of the babysitters. The only one who ever attended dinner with the Blank was Blank. When they concluded the interview with Blank, I then contacted Blank and met with him in the Kibbe Dome on the University of Idaho campus. Blank. Number 12. Oh, sorry. Blank agreed to sit down for an interview with us. Number 12. At approximately 11:37 a.m., we began the interview with Blank. I explained why we wanted to talk with Blank. With Blank was not nervous and not afraid to speak with us. Blank explained he was a blank for the blank. Blank went on to explain he met Blank.
Hold on, Eddie. I believe he's explaining he was a football coach for the University of Idaho. I believe that's who this is.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Okay. Blank went on to explain he met Blank while working and asked if she would be willing to babysit. Blank agreed, and that is how Blank came to know Goncalves. Blank even explained that after asking Blank about babysitting, he didn't even save her phone number in his phone for obvious reasons. Blank appeared very conscious of how it may look if he was contacting female students. Blank stated he was not involved very much with the babysitting and did not handle any of the logistics of it. Outside of Blank, had little to no contact with the other babysitters and told us he had met Goncalves maybe 2 times. Any interactions he had with the babysitters was mostly in passing. 14. Blank confirmed Blank statements of how they knew Goncalves and how the babysitting operation was performed. Blank explained that after games, he would meet with Blank at a location off campus. Blank told us that on the day of the incident, he was notified of the murders when he was already in the Kibbe Dome game planning for the next week. We asked Blank if he had seen any of the victims after the football game the night before they were found. He said he had not seen any of the victims after the game. I asked Blank what he did after the game. He stated he went to the Best Western, as is custom after games, with other blank, and then went home. I asked blank what his contact was like with the blank. He told me his phone was always on and blank could reach out to him if need be, but that was not the standard. I asked if his phone was normally on 24/7. He said it was. 15. After explaining the totality of the circumstance and the link between him and Goncalves, I asked blank if he would be willing to provide a DNA sample. We explained the sample was going to be used to rule out or match a person to any evidence that may be obtained. We also explained the DNA sample would not be placed into the national database. He ultimately agreed, and we obtained a sample from him. That sample was later given to the Moscow Police Department and processed according to their policy and procedures. 16. I also asked blank if he had any inappropriate relationships with any of the victims or students at the university. Blank denied any inappropriate relationships. There were no other tips or statements to say otherwise. Blank told me the only interaction he had with Goncalves outside of babysitting was when she arrived at the house to watch the kids, and she appeared hungover. He told us his wife took care of her. We concluded our interview with blank. I submitted the audio recordings of the interviews into the ISP District 1 evidence. See audio recordings for further detail.
So this is the football coach that, hold on a minute. I think Lana did a show about this where they swabbed him for whatever reasons and so on and so forth. So why is it that they asked this particular question? Nobody else was asked this, right? That's interesting. And I think it relates to something else, Jesse, that you may have hit on a while back, in my opinion, of course. On October 29th to 24, ISP Detective Sergeant Gilbertson received a request from Latah County Prosecutor's Office to follow up on a tip from blank, who stated he had information on the quadruple homicides that occurred in Moscow on November 13th. Blank is an Idaho State Correctional Institution inmate that was interviewed by the... Oh, hold on. It's a little too big for me to see the side there. Sorry. Interviewed by the FBI Special Agent Ryan O'Neill. Blank made numerous claims during the interview about circumstances surrounding the murders, and who was involved. He stated the house where the murders took place was a location where he provided security to individuals who delivered unknown items to the house. Okay, so we're talking about Farley here. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, if you guys haven't heard about Farley, he's all over. Pop talks about him all the time. So this is what he's saying here, is that he provided security to the house, okay? And he told this to S.A. O'Neill with the FBI because of that situation. So let me repeat it again. Farley made numerous claims during the interview about the circumstances surrounding the murders and who was involved. He stated that the house where the murders took place was a location where he provided security to individuals who delivered unknown items to the house. Remember this part. He stated he did not know what they were delivering, but understood that what they were doing was illegal. Farley referenced several individuals by nicknames, but did not know any full legal names. His main associates were blank and blank. On one of their trips, Farley stated that they were leaving Lewiston and heading for Moscow when a car crash happened in front of them. He stated that the driver was ejected through the front windshield but survived. He stated he stopped at the crash and waited for the police to arrive, spoke to them briefly, and then continued to Moscow. He stated that this happened at 3 a.m., exactly 30 days before the murders. The murders occurred on November 13th of 22, which by his statement would mean the accident occurred on October 13th of 22. I searched ISP District 2 calls from this date and did not locate any crashes that matched his description. I then contacted Nez Perce County Sheriff's Department and requested that they check to see if the Sheriff's Department or Lewiston Police Department responded to any crashes on this date, which matched his description. They could not find any records, could find no records of the Sheriff's Department or LPD responding to a crash, matching the description. I requested that they expand the search to October 12th and 14th of 22 and still found no matches. What's up, Tomboy? Hold on. Or not, it's not Farley. Hold on. Wait a minute. Back up. I probably threw the wrong name in there. Who is it, Tomboy? I thought it was Farley that they said that was the one that said that he did security for this house. It's Lucy says it's absolutely not Farley. Who was it that they said did security for this house then? There's so many names and things, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm looking. So let me correct it, folks. Swear to God, it was Farley that said he did security for the house. Somebody give me a name, please. Either way, it's not. If they're saying it's not Farley, so I guess we'll back that out. I'm sorry. Hang on a minute here. Because I don't want you guys to have misinformation by any means. So I do want to correct it. Ben, Brett, stop at 300. I can't click links in the chat, Lucy, if you're trying to put that up. Chief Fry. I don't think so. Give me a minute here. I probably just misheard what I just stated. I'll just leave it go. It's not Farley. Take the name out that I said. Sorry, guys. I probably, like I said, I'm guessing I crossed the names with another name because I remember hearing another part of this, and that name was mentioned somewhere else. But the other name, I guarantee you, I'll know the name as soon as I hear it. But my apologies. I will correct. Like I said, that's why I like to correct things when I do make mistakes like that, because I don't want anybody going anywhere with that and being wrong. And thinking that and being confused. Hang on here a minute. I wish I could come together with it myself. I just can't remember now then. Yeah, that's true too. Wade Bird. That's why you guys are so amazing. Because you can fix me when I break. Maybe I'm not going to get the answer to that right now. I added the link in Discord. You did not mishear. That is what people... Oh, okay then. But it's not... See? Okay, well, it's not 100% my fault, but it is not true, so... Where did you put it at, Heather? I'm sorry. Is it between you and me, or is it in the it's probably in the chat. Hold on. There it is right there. Hold on. Give me 1 minute, folks. Thank you, Heather. Lucy. Fitz. Lucci. Bear with me, you guys. I'm trying to read something real quick. Okay. It's the same thing I'm reading right now. He stated this happened at 3 a.m. exactly 30 days before the murders. Murders occurred on November 13th. That would be October 13th. Would mean the accident occurred on October 13th. I searched the calls November 12th or October 12th. Okay, right. Okay. Sometimes you guys confuse me. Moving on. So we're just going to move his name out of there. I'll just leave that go. LPD responded to any crashes on this date which matched his description. They could find no records, LPD or the sheriff's department responding to a crash matching description. They requested they expand the search to October 12th through 14th, and it did not find any matches. Blank stated that he was later punished by Blank for stopping at the scene of the crash. He stated that Blank broke both his feet, and he stated that he was in jail from October 28th of 22 through December 9th of 22 in both Spokane County and Kootenai County. On October 31st, Detective Brett Payne of Moscow PD contacted both Spokane and Kootenai County Sheriff's Department. Spokane County stated that Blank was arrested in Airway Heights, Washington on November 23rd for assault. He was then transferred to Kootenai County for a warrant. Neither detention center had any records of Blank having broken feet. Kootenai County reported having Blank listed as having blank blank. Additionally, the dates of the incarceration do not match what he stated in his interview with S.A. O'Neill. Okay. There are 10 pics there with the links to who's who and where. Okay. Gotcha. All I saw was the same, unless I clicked the wrong thing. That's probably what I did. Sorry. It just gave me, do I slide over here? It just gave me the same document that I was reading. And it highlighted the things that I said, but it doesn't give me as an oh. Well, okay. On October 31st, I followed up with S.A. O'Neill about the interview he conducted with Blank. S.A. O'Neill stated that he had a long history with Blank and that he used to work as an informant for him. He stated he eventually fired Blank as an informant because he was a pathological liar. S.I. O'Neill stated he continually sought out law enforcement to try to help himself out when he got into trouble, but he never had credible or reliable information. S.A. O'Neill stated during the recent interview with Blank, he did not find him credible and did not believe anything that he said in the interview. Okay. Well,
are we looking at Big Country News, the article, 2 arrested after approximately 500 fentanyl pills discovered during traffic stop?
No.
I
was just moving on to, I'm trying to figure out who this actually was.
Oh, I was asking Lucy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was put out that it was Farley, but they're saying it's not Heather's. I listen and believe what Heather tells me, period. That's all there is to it. So welcome, Mark.
Yeah, I'm trying to click those links that she's referencing. I just wonder if I clicked the right.
Did you get them?
If I'm digging in the right location here.
Yeah, the one link I got is just my document that she highlighted different things in, and then I think the other one is the same thing. The accident on 13 October of 22. Oh, that's the news link. I didn't get that one. If you have that, Eddie, if you pull that up, and we can pull it up if you want to.
I'm not sure, but that's what I'm asking. Is this?
It's I guess it's referencing that accident that we just read through here.
Let me click that.
I think that's the news link to it, if I'm correct.
Okay. So how do I get this to you?
You can put it in back chat or private chat. If you just copy the link and post it in a private chat, I can pull it up that way.
Let's see. I don't understand how to do that. Yeah, there are like 7 different links in that post.
The one you gave me, Lucy, is different than the one that's in the chat right there. Or whatever. That is a link to the accident that gives credibility to the story being claimed by the CI. It's on here. Okay, well, put that link that you just put in the chat again, please, if you will, in the Discord so I can click that instead of this one then, because this one doesn't do that, I guess. This is just it's just for the show thing from there. That would be awesome, though. The CI and Farley are 2 different people. That's awesome. I'd like to know for show.
Okay, so all I did is I just went on Lucy Morningstar's posts. So I think this is the way you can do it, Dago, is just go to her posts and scroll down to about 4 days ago. Would you be able to do it that way, you think?
This is what I have when I click that link. It brings this up. I'm not always as smart as everybody, guys. Just saying. And if I scroll, it takes me to this. And then it gives me the comments. And I don't see any links in here that I can click. So I'm probably missing it because I am a ding dong at times. Wait. There they are. Like I said. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, guys. Sorry. Let's check this out.
The first.
Thank you, Lucy. Am I doing this right now? I hope. And I'm not pretty. Shut up, tomboy. Just so everybody knows, we're going through this to understand what that document we just read through. There's no sound. Of course, there's not any sound. Why would there be? Because that would be easy. Sorry, you guys. Here we go. That way, anyway, so that way we are, this explains the document we're reading through and gives the truth about it.
But watch what happens when you follow instructions found on the Superior Court website related to docket numbers. Changing the 2 to 1029961 into 2 to 1029962.
Thank you, Lucy.
Next we'll see for yourself how I got here. For example, Lewis County is S21 and JIS SCOMAS. All of their cases will now end in 21 instead of the check digit that traditionally came at the end of the case numbers. For example, the case number 1518030 for 7 in JIS SCOMAS would look like 1518030 for 21 in Odyssey. Why? The number 21. The example shown is for Lewis County. Let's find the number 21 in this chart. Does it say Lewis County at number 21? Now, let's find Spokane County. The number 32.
I have to say, this is awesome. I feel like I'm back in elementary school, though. I love it.
And this is why I said you are leaving off case numbers on your search. The links are included. Please try for yourself. Washington Court's docket converts the docket number in order to find a case in Odyssey. Helps when you read and follow instructions.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, hold on.
Heights and Lewiston are 5 miles away.
Okay, do I need to click the other link and go through there too? Or was that it, Lucy, or do I need to click that other link? Because I did finally find them. That was nice of me to not see it. Here it is. No, wait. Sorry. That is the point. Gotcha. Okay, so we're good with that then. All right. And let me get rid of James here. And here we go. On we go. Thank you, Lucy. The rest of the links in the post are about the accident on the 13th of October and the person being interviewed. All right. That's what I was going to do. Thank you. So let me click that. Click read more.
Well, she says, no, don't watch that.
No, don't watch that. We're not watching that. Okay. We're not watching it. Sorry. Not right now. Anyway. For reference so that people know what triggered me. Yes, ma'am. I already know. I get it. I understand. So that's not Farley. We're going to completely take that out of our mind at this point. And thank you for proving that, dear. That's why we love you so much. Moving on. Okay, where the hell was I? We're done with that one. On December 2nd of 22, Idaho State Police Lieutenant Tyler Barrett conducted a phone interview with reference to tip 5231, blank, blank, No one answered the first phone call attempt. The second phone call, the person on the other line who identified himself as blank asked if we could talk another time. The third phone call, I was able to visit with blank blank, explained an old conversation that she had with a rideshare driver. I guess this is Eric Gower, maybe. I'm curious, but maybe not. The blank explained the driver talked about how one of the victims was stabbed 25. Oh, probably not then. Stabbed 25 to 28 times. The driver also had the same tow truck. Driver also had the same tow truck as the tow truck used at the crime scene. The driver worked at blank blank, also brought up other random information. See recording for full interview details. Tip 5231 was subsequently closed. I've never heard that before. That's interesting. On or about December 3rd of 22, ISP Detective Knudsen and I interviewed blank blank. Tip number 2935. Blank explained how her boyfriend relayed a story that he had heard from blank blank blank. No, I'm sorry, blank blank. Blank explained that he had a knife flashed at him at a party. Blank also explained that this incident happened approximately 1 to 2 years prior. Again, see recording for full interview details. Tip number 1. Okay, explain her video. Subsequently closed. Recordings of the interviews were turned over. Okay, on or about December 2nd of 22, Idaho State Police Lieutenant Ty Barrett conducted a phone interview in reference to 5231. No one answered the first call attempt. Second call identified herself. Oh, I'm sorry. The second call, the person on the line who identified herself as blank asked if we could talk. I just read that. I thought, sorry. Anyway, this is the one I think it was. Yeah, we read that one, subsequently closed. Okay, so we moved on from there. Sorry. My son was talking to me again. My apologies for the distraction. On April 16th, Ty Barrett was subpoenaed for case number D22000030. While preparing for court and reviewing my materials, I realized that some audio recordings may not have been included in the evidence or reports. I contacted ISP Lieutenant D. Gilbertson regarding these files. The audio files were specifically for 2 closed tips, 5231 and 2935. Let me write them down.
Write down 2953.
2953, yeah. And 5231. I said that backwards, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I did after I said it. I'm like, that's not right. I was writing the right one down and saying the wrong one. It was determined the audio files had not been placed into evidence or reports written for the closed tips. Out of an abundance of caution, it was determined to complete a report and submit the audio files. On May 1st of 25, I completed a report tip for tip number 5231 and tip 2935. Supplement 0202. On the same date, I also provided Lieutenant Gilbertson the audio files. Lieutenant Gilbertson subsequently turned the audio files over to Moscow PD.
Back up on that second paragraph, that last sentence in paragraph number 2. I think there's a typo. It says, out of abundance of caution, it was determined to complete a report and submit the audio files. Shouldn't it say, out of an abundance of caution, I was determined to complete a report and submit the audio files?
Yep. Yeah, not it was determined. I was determined. I knew something sounded weird, but I just kept going because.
No, it's not your fault. See, the trouble is with all these redactions, and then on top of that, here and there were sprinkled in some typos. It can make trying to read through these, in a sensible manner, a real struggle.
Right. 100%. Especially when you're just reading endlessly like this. Sometimes it will.
Yeah, it kind of interrupts your rhythm, and
right.
You sound to yourself like you're not, making any sense. And
well, that whole thing there, that Farley thing, that got me all backed up and backwards anyway. So, yes, but thank you for catching that, Eddie. That's why I like having somebody else up here with me. And Lucy in the chat to fix things too. I appreciate her so very much. On May 1st, I completed the report 4-tip 5231 and 2953 supplement report 0202 on the same date. I also provided Gilbertson with the files that subsequently turned the audio files over to MPD. This supplement is in reference to D22000030 supplement 202. So, hold on a minute. Back up to 201. Kent said, oh, okay. Gotcha. That's what I was looking at then. That's what caught me confused. And I'm thinking in different directions. That's my problem, folks. I shouldn't do that. All right. On May 30th of 25, I contacted multiple subjects by phone who had been identified as witnesses by defense counsel for the upcoming trial of Koberger. The subjects contacted and details of the interview are as follows. Blank said he had been subpoenaed by the defense counsel for the first trial, but had not been subpoenaed for the new trial. He has not had any contact with the defense counsel for Koberger. Now, that might be Ian Harsh. Blank. He has not received a subpoena or had any contact with defense counsel for Koberger. Blank, he was interviewed by defense counsel around April 2nd of 24, which was arranged by Washington State University and was attended by a WSU attorney general. He has not received a subpoena or had any additional contact with defense counsel for Koberger. D. Blank, she has received subpoenas from the state and defense counsel for Koberger. She has not had any direct contact with defense counsel for Koberger. However, retired attorney and family friend Blank communicated once with Blank on her behalf after she received her subpoena. E is Blank. He has received subpoenas from the state and defense counsel for Koberger. He has no contact with defense counsel other than to call their office after receiving the subpoena, inquiring as to when he would have to testify, and defense counsel has not called him back. F. Blank, he has received a subpoena from defense. He has not had any contact with the defense counsel for Koberger. G. Blank, he has received a subpoena. However, he didn't remember if it was from the state or from defense, and he has not had any contact with defense counsel for Koberger. H. Blank, she has not received any subpoenas, and she has not had any contact with defense counsel for Koberger. And I says, I have not had any contact with Blank at the time of this report. I have attempted phone call and text messages communications, and all to no avail. And this is the witness list follow-up. It says Blank, again, keep going. That's J. He had been subpoenaed by defense counsel for the first trial, but had not been subpoenaed for the new trial, and he has not had any contact with defense counsel for Koberger. K. Blank, she has received a subpoena from defense, and she has not had any contact with the defense counsel for Koberger. L. Blank, he has received a subpoena from defense, and he was interviewed by defense investigators by phone about 8 months ago. They asked him questions about his daily experience, whether he heard a dog barking during the time around the murders, and what his experience was the morning after the murders. He felt as if the investigators were attempting to wrap me into the case. The investigators told him it was unlikely he would have to testify. That's an interesting statement to make. Okay, let me say that again. He felt as if the investigators were attempting to wrap me into the case.
Let's
Any
make
thoughts
sure we,
on that?
yeah, let's make sure we have it straight. So the person writing this report is one of the ISP detectives, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's following up with these witnesses. So in that sentence, the witness felt as if the investigators, referring to when the defense contacted him, the defense, I think that sentence is referring to when the defense contacted him, they asked him questions about his daily experience, whether he heard a dog barking during the time around the murders, and what his experience was the morning after the murders. So in reference to that, I think I interpret this paragraph as he's telling this ISP detective that I felt as if the investigators, which were the defense's investigators, were attempting to wrap me into the case. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's how I took it too. So, this was I'm sorry, real quick here. ISP follow-up for the witness follow-up. I'm trying to see who the investigator was. They normally list them, but I don't see one here. Am I missing? Oh, Gideon Roberts. I'm sorry. Go ahead. There we go.
Okay.
Detective Roberts. Sorry about that.
But yeah, just so everybody had it right, because it would have been easy to misconstrue it as when he said, I felt as though the investigators were trying to wrap me into the case. They could have thought that being the state's investigators.
Right.
But I don't think that's what it's saying.
No, it sounds more like
the defense team's investigators.
Yeah.
Is that clear to everybody, or is it still?
I want to make sure that it is, because I
And do I have it right?
Right. That's what I'm trying to get right now. I'm rereading it again to myself. Blank. I have not had any contact with blank at the time of this report, and I have attempted a phone call. That's okay. Wait, I'm up further. Hold on. He has received a subpoena from the defense. He was interviewed by defense investigators by phone about 8 months ago. They asked him questions about his daily experience, whether he heard dog barking during. Okay, so for those of you asking about Enan was initially to testify in the first trial. But this here, I believe the date on this is this is for the second trial, so that shouldn't be him because he did not get resubpoenaed. But anyway, but okay, 8 months ago, the morning he felt as if the investigators were attempting to wrap me into the case. The investigators told him it was unlikely that he would have to testify. So it sounds like you're right, Eddie. This one's hard to receive.
Yeah, I think it all is. The context is set for us in the very first item, which is item number 1 in the narrative. And if you scroll back to it, it reads, on May 30th, 2025, I contacted multiple subjects by phone who had been identified as witnesses by defense counsel for the upcoming trial of Kohlberger. So the defense counsel contacted these witnesses. And then subjects contacted and details of the interview are as follows. So this guy, this ISP detective is contacting these witnesses, which were subpoenaed by the defense.
Right.
So yeah, this last guy.
So if it was, if they're subpoenaed by defense, he's telling Gideon Roberts that he feels that the defense was trying to wrap him up in the case.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I took it, right? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Ian was the one up here that I would think was the one that was subpoenaed for the first trial, but has not been subpoenaed for the new trial. He has not had any contact with defense counsel for Koberger. Then they move on to this next person with the dog bark thing.
So my personal thoughts on it is, it sounds like he's a reluctant witness to me.
Of course. Of course.
That's how I'm going to interpret that.
That's what it takes me. Yeah. To make that statement, that's how I get it too.
Or even hostile towards the defense.
Very much so, yeah. I attach my notes as an e-file, and it doesn't matter truly at this point. But it would be interesting to know who it was. I don't think it's Enan because it sounds separate from who I thought was Enan up in the top of this. But I could be wrong. I was wrong about that other thing. Again, thank the Lord for Heather and everybody else. As long as it's not page number 158, we're good. Let's see. On June 3rd of 25, ISP Detective Ryan O'Hara contacted multiple subjects by telephone who had been identified as witnesses by defense counsel for the upcoming trial of Brian. See, that's important to read that right, too. They were identified as witnesses by defense counsel for the upcoming trial of Brian Koberger. Koberger's been charged. We know all that. Okay. On June 3rd through 5th of 25, I contacted multiple subjects by phone identified as witnesses by defense counsel for the upcoming trial. The details of the conversations with each of these subjects contacted are summarized below. Blank, she has been subpoenaed by counsel for the preliminary hearing and received a subpoena in March of 25. Oh, that's wild. She was interviewed by the defense counsel before the preliminary hearing, but hasn't been contacted with them since. She provided a list of questions asked by the defense counsel via email, and this email is attached to this supplemental report as an e-file. Yeah, that Enan's too dumb, in my opinion, to be able to be involved in this, guys, and keep his mouth closed. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean by saying, I shouldn't say dumb. I just don't think he has enough common knowledge, because he's not stupid by any means, but he doesn't have enough common sense, in my opinion, to be able to hold out on this and do something like this without like blowing that he was involved, if that makes any sense. Hey, Happy, good to see you. Next, he had received a subpoena for the preliminary hearing and was notified by his former fraternity brothers that law enforcement had recently attempted to serve a subpoena at his former address. He has not had any contact with defense counsel for Koberger. Blank, and she has not received a subpoena or had any contact with defense counsel for Koberger either. And again, witness follow-ups. Blank, I placed calls to 3 numbers associated with blank on June 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 5th. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I'm sorry, I don't know what I just said. I left voicemails at the numbers most likely to be his, and I have received no response. Then you keep trying. Blank, she's received a subpoena from defense counsel for Koberger. She has had no contact with defense counsel, but believes they've attempted to call her. She has not called them back. I contacted Blank on June 5th of 25, arranged for her to meet with Moscow PD Detective Fox. That's a new name for me. At the Moscow PD. How many detectives did they have? Detective Fox advised that she had not received a subpoena or been in contact with defense counsel. Blank for letter G. And Blank also advised Detective Fox that her husband Blank had not received a subpoena or been in contact with defense. I attached my notes to e-file and Tiburon. Sorry, nothing further at this time. Good Lord. Hold on a minute. My dogs are going nuts. I'll be right back.
On May 30th, 2025, I contacted multiple subjects by phone who had been identified as witnesses by the defense counsel for the upcoming trial of Koberger. Subjects contacted and details of the interview are as follows. A. Redacted. The defense subpoenaed him on April 18th, 2025. He has reached out multiple times to the defense, but has not had any contact with the defense counsel for Kohlberger. He wanted to add that approximately 2 weeks before the homicides occurred, he saw a lone white male with black hair driving north on Conestoga past his residence. Blank stated the male was driving a white colored sedan. And by the way, we're stuck. I can't read any further.
Sorry, guys.
Okay,
I came home and dogs went nuts. I hate when they do that. Okay.
I'm still in letter A here.
Yeah. Oh, you're reading again. Okay, thank you, bud.
Yeah. Okay, where were we? Sedan. Blank stated this memory came back to him after Kohlberger had been arrested, and the news media released a video of the traffic stop that occurred with Kohlberger and his father in Indiana. B. Redacted. She has received a subpoena from both the defense and the prosecution. She has only spoken with the witness coordinator at the PA's office. Suppose that'd be prosecuting attorneys. And has had no contact with the defense counsel for Kohlberger.
Okay.
C.
Oh, you want
to? Sure, I'll keep going.
Okay.
She has received a subpoena from the defense counsel for Kohlberger in April. She spoke with someone from Ann's team on May 8th. She is unaware of what she will be testifying to. D. Redacted. He has received a subpoena from the defense counsel. He has not had contact with the defense counsel for Kohlberger. E. Redacted. Unable to locate with the provided phone number. Redacted. TLO report was run through ISP dispatch and was unable to obtain a positive match. F. Redacted. She has received a subpoena from the defense counsel. She has spoken with someone from the defense counsel, but only for scheduling purposes. She's unaware what she will be testifying to. Nothing further at this time.
Thank you, sir. Let's see here. On May 28th, ISP Detective Schwecke was notified that ISP District 2 detectives will be contacting people who were identified as witnesses by defense counsel for the upcoming trial, Brian Kohlberger. Kohlberger, we all know that. I don't need to read that again and again. So on May 28th, I was notified ISP District 2 detectives would be contacting people who were identified as witnesses by defense counsel for the upcoming trial. Okay, we know that again. The following list is a list of people I have contacted and the information they provided. On May 28th, 25, blank. He has not received a subpoena. He has not had any contact with the defense. And on May 28th of 25, blank, she received a subpoena. She was interviewed on the phone by the defense team approximately 1 year ago, and she talked about being at a party on Taylor Avenue with her friend blank and walking home to her sorority. June 4th of 25, blank, he has not received a subpoena, and he has not had any contact with the defense. June 4th of 25, redacted. She has not received a subpoena. She has not had any contact with the defense. June 5th of 25, redacted. I I have been unable to locate a working phone number for redacted. It is not an active phone number. No contact has been made. June 5th of 25 redacted. I have been unable again to locate a working phone number for redacted. Is not an active phone number. No contact has been made. June 5th of 25, I was notified that Moscow PD officer Andrew Fox, oh, I did know his name, has contacted redacted. I can't do that. May 29th of 25, blank. He has received a subpoena and he has not had any contact with defense. Oh, is that it? Holy shit. Is that it? No, that's not. Can't be right. That's 207. What did I do here? Is that it? I'll be damned. I thought there was more than that. Let me see something here. I might have to open up the other link or something, maybe.
So many of these witnesses haven't been in contact with the defense. Notice that?
There was a lot of them. Well, here's the thing, though. That's probably we're going to stop with the documents for today, but we can discuss them now. That's a good point, because you remember Anne stating that she was having a really, really hard time getting in contact with people and talking.
That was on the 26th of January 24, motion to dismiss. She mentioned that there was over 400 witnesses. The witnesses didn't want to talk to them, and she had spoken to less than 10% of those 400.
Right. So, even if they're contacting them, they don't want to talk to her. And that's a problem for her too. And you got to wonder if that was how much of a difference that made and was making in the case on the defensive side of things. You know what I mean? I think it's probably kind of important. Let me look at something here just to be sure of something. One second, guys. I'm just looking. Jesus. That's horrible, Heather, that thing you sent me. Good God. All right. So I'm trying to pull up, or I'm gonna pull up. I'm sorry. I'm checking something. Where are we at here? Take me to it. Thank you. All right. And now I need to find this. Sorry about
of all those witnesses that don't want to talk to the defense, there's got to be a common denominator. And it can't be because all of them feel uncomfortable testifying in a courtroom.
That's a good point.
Or are working on that day.
They definitely avoided her. In there's a reason, in my opinion, like if we think about it.
Yeah, think about it. Fill in the blanks.
Well,
use your imagination.
Let's go back to let's go back to the interview with Dave, that guy. Okay. He himself stated that nobody wants to talk. Nobody. Okay. So that's kind of a big deal, in my opinion. And then Rory went to Idaho when he was doing this on foot, boots on the ground, and was just trying to walk around just talking to people, right? Nope. The dude was people. Okay, I'm gonna give him, like, if he was here, he could reiterate this, but he had people that completely ignored him. He had people that told him, I want to talk about it, but I can't. And that one really caught my attention when they said that to him. He was live with us when he would do that too. And I heard these things in some senses, but he pointed out different things too, where other people were talking. People came at him, like verbally attacked him for being there and doing what he was trying to do, just trying to get answers. There were people that said that they don't know anything about it, and he didn't believe it, that he said that the way that they sounded, it just didn't come up as true to him. There were people that completely ignored what he was saying to him and went the other direction when they saw him coming. Hell, he went to the Jack in the Box, okay, way back with the whole with the whole what do you call it, the DoorDash driver thing, and they completely lied to him. They told him it was some guy that was, hold on,
Singing guy.
what?
Singing guy.
No, what?
Mom, what do you call her? Is your phone dead? Just she was messaging you.
It's just not breaking or ringing. I've
She was
been
on Messenger.
reading documents, so nothing rang.
And then text her like what you were doing. She was trying to get over you.
Well, she knows this. I will. So that they, okay, JLR went. That's another point I'm trying to make with this, and I don't understand if this is all wrapped together or if it's just specific incidences that this is going on. But the DoorDash driver, he was told once that it was a guy, or that it was a girl with dark hair. Then he was told that it was a guy that was taking the food and stealing it and eating it. And now we're told that it's Molly McMichaels. Like, there's lies all over the place with this. JLR was told that it was a guy. Or no. What the hell was JLR told? Was he told that it was a girl too? I don't remember, guys. There's so many different stories, but the point is there's a lot of lies, and there's just more and more and more. And even people that you wouldn't think would be involved in lying about things on this, they're lying, and they're involving themselves in lying about things like this. Why can't you just be honest about what you know or what happened here? It's just not.
You got a pretty good memory, Dago. I think it's JLR said that he spoke with someone, and they said it was a girl with long dark hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rory's situation was he sat down with someone, and that was the other one. The guy stealing the food or whatever that was.
Yeah. Well, the one day though, he went in and they told him it was the girl, and then the day he went back, they told him it was the guy. So he got two different stories within two different times, and they were real rude with him. Like they threw him out, I think the second time, and they just it doesn't make sense to me. Why are you doing all this? And obviously it's because they're hiding something, and they're avoiding something, they're covering something, whatever it is, whatever the reason is, however you explain it. That's the reason I'm going to give for it. That's what I see with it. And the answer to that, or the question with that whole thing, is why? Why is that so important other than telling the truth? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at this point, I'm not dismissing the thought of, was the DoorDash vehicle the ruse to get the people there even?
There you go. That's interesting. That's very interesting, to be honest with you.
I don't know, just that in conjunction with all the photographs of the bag and.
Yep. And speaking of that, I got some more for you guys here real quick. I was going through the files, and I just finally got a new upload for it. I don't know why mine took longer, but it did. Well, I got both links for both groupings of photographs now, is what it was.
Because dang, that even works with the, because you were talking about it earlier in this live stream today about the it's believable that the DoorDash driver, she looked up in the third story window, and that story of what she saw seems to be the portion of the lie that is the truth piece.
Yeah.
So she was there during that time, it really seems like.
See, I thought maybe she looked up and saw this window, okay? And might have just, maybe that's third story, whatever, or misinformed it, because she was over here walking up and down this road and looking over. Maybe she mistook what level this was and saw somebody standing in this window, and you see the lighting through the window at nighttime, dancing at that time, back and forth possibly. And it just looked like the person, they were coming in and out of view of the window like this. If they're dancing around, maybe she thought she was ducking. Do you know what I'm trying to say there? See, that was my thought on that whole thing. I could be wrong, but that's how I imagined it other than the fact that I just don't believe what she says most of the time. But I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt on that one. You know what I mean?
You just know that living room is lit up.
Oh yeah,
during that time.
Right. So and I'm just guessing. You said she had dark hair. Okay, you're standing outside. It's dark out. Maybe it illuminated differently and made her hair look a certain type of. I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to think of something that would make sense with that. That may have not have happened at all. But why would Dana duck from the DoorDash if she ordered food? That's what I'm saying. She wouldn't. That wouldn't be Xana then. Okay. And that's what I mean. If she was dancing around at that time, if it was Kaylee baby, dancing back and forth in front of the window, who knows? I don't know if that's true or not, but that would be another reason or up to what she could have seen. And I can imagine where she would like mistake the hair color because of the lighting in the background behind it. It might see, I don't know, guys. I guess I could be off on that, but you can see clearly through the window in the cop videos. They look up and I guess you're right, Bombshell. That's a good point. I don't know. Because she's down here and looking up there, but it's pretty evident. Like if they show the front of the house again, I hope they do. Hold on here. I guess it would be pretty evident, you guys, about the what level of the house it was, right? You know, the ground level. And she said third story, so I don't even know. But if you see people dancing 4 or 6 cars in a parking lot, you still go full Rambo only with an. See, that's where I'm stuck on this, you guys. That house looks fairly lit up. The living room lights are all on. It was pretty bright in there. You see 5 cars in the driveway. Why would you go in that house unless you didn't care because you already knew who was in that house? You know what I mean? And if you're going to go with what dipshit Thompson says, he's saying that Brian very well may have just decided right before he went in to do this. There was no premeditation. And the detectives are saying this house was picked at random, basically. Anybody with any common sense is not going to pull up on a house that has 5 cars in it. All the lights are lit up in the house, per se, and walk in there and attack 4 people. That doesn't make any sense because you don't know what you're walking into. Do you see what I'm saying? You just don't. You don't know if those cars are, how many guys are in that house. You don't know if there's people in there with guns. You don't know that if you're a random person that doesn't know these people. That's the main reason why I'm stuck on the fact that this was somebody that knew these people. Period. I can't get past it for that reason right there. That really bothers the hell out of me, truly and honestly. These links are both the same. I don't understand this. Any thoughts on that part, Eddie?
No, but Bombshell mentioned the string of Christmas lights. There's lights under the deck outside of the house, and I believe in the kitchen, in that nook, which you'd consider where like the table would be. You know,
there were. Yep, there were lights. I think
there's even lights right in there.
There's lights. Yeah, you're right.
That living room would have been lit up, illuminated.
Well,
for sure.
There's more lights in that living room than I even thought there was, to be honest.
That's right.
Okay. I knew the good vibes sign was lit up. The fruit bar or whatever the hell that's called, that had Christmas lights on it. The back wall in the living room, the whole wall was covered with like Christmas lights. Up the wall, and you can see lighting here coming through this area here, and that's just a slight bit of it, but it was bright for the most part in there. Okay. And that's how I see it, at least. I know that, yeah, look how bright that is.
And just reflect back, guys. This entire time we've been battling, you know, the narrative has been the good vibes was the only light, you know, and right. If it was even on, you know, oh, it had been dark in there, and okay, the good vibes light, if it was on, it's not going to provide much illumination, and she wouldn't have been able to see with that. Man, I'm telling you, that living room was lit up. And probably the hallway going into the kitchen, which is hardly a hallway at all. It almost just immediately transitioned from the third floor stair landing into the kitchen. But yeah.
There's lights all through here.
There's lights everywhere.
I forgot about that wall right there until the other day, and look how lit up that is. And you can see it. You know what I mean? That's lit up there. And I'm pretty sure we're about to see the other side. Yeah, that light, those lights, that light there. Dylan even mentioned the fact that there was a Sensi light, like a night light. There's lights everywhere, guys. The kitchen lights were probably on. There's lights around. I think they go into the kitchen. There's lights around the. Isn't there like that little cove you're talking about, like the nook or whatever the hell that was, Eddie? There's lights in that in the kitchen. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure that the light, like this light here, the main light in the kitchen, was probably on. So if this is the case, there's no way in hell that house was lit up, period.
Yeah, local ass. That's right. It's the truth is the opposite direction of what you're being told to believe. If you're told this, then start looking in the other direction.
Exactly.
In this case.
Yeah, I'm going to imagine that all these lights right here were on the entire time that night. Okay. Which also reflect into the hallway in front of Dylan's bedroom door. There's also the lights on the outside of the forgot about those two and these. And those are the lights right there. Eddie was talking about right there. There's lights on all through this whole house, folks, period.
Yeah, meanie, that's right. That's what it always was in those Gilcher's channels. He drove around waiting for all the lights to be shut off. Ridiculous.
Never happened.
No.
Not to mention he wasn't even there. So if he was coming through this way here, she opens her door right here. There is a step down there. By the way, if you guys never saw that, it's right there. This whole area is lit up. So in my opinion, in a 3-foot distance, she saw very clearly who that person was, if she actually saw him. I'm going to say that again. Let me see something here. Shit, I forgot there were lights going on the upstairs too, you guys. Look. There's lights on all. I hate to see their electric bill. There's lights on everywhere in this house. There's a lot of holiday lights for sure. And then just the standard internal lights of the house as well. And I'm going to have to say, truly, in my opinion, those kitchen lights were on. For sure. Okay. So if she was standing on the road over there and looked over, I guess she clarified 3rd floor. So that would be 3rd floor up there. You would have to look up and see that. And that room, that's the bathroom right there. Am I right or am I wrong?
That's the bathroom, yeah.
Okay, so that's the bathroom. This is the stairwell area, kind of like the hallway in between. This is Kaylee's room. And Maddie's room is like in the middle here. Her window's probably on the back, or is on the back side. I'm sorry.
I bet if you were like a pedestrian and you were standing in that drive that goes between the 1122 King Road house and the 500 Queen Road apartments, a steep incline just off to the side of the house there on the left.
Right.
I bet if you were just standing there, it was fall, the foliage was already off the tree. You'd be able to look right into that window if you were Molly.
Yeah, because they didn't have any curtains, folks. If you look at their windows, there's no curtains anywhere. So you can kind of pretty clearly see into these windows. I think there's like blinds on some of them, but not enough to like black it out. You know what I mean? Yeah, this up here would be the bathroom. So she saw somebody ducking in and out of the way in the bathroom. That's odd. I will always say how weird this house is built too. It's just very strange to me. Anyway.
You going live this evening? Later
Yeah,
today?
I'll be live again
Okay.
tonight. Yes.
I'll hop out of chat. No.
All right, buddy.
Thanks
Thank you
again, as
again.
always.
Oh, sorry about all the confusion, distraction, and all that crap today, but thank you for being patient with it. I appreciate you very much.
Oh, not at all. I think it went smooth, like clockwork.
It was good, but I don't like distractions because I get distracted and then I distract everybody else, and I don't like that. So,
all right, everybody, take care. We'll see you soon.
All right, bud. I'll see you later on, hopefully. Way up top. That's right. So I think that'll do it for these docs today. Reports, I'm sorry, and things like that. I do want to know something else, though. I'm going to go try to verify it if I can. Is that bug guard thing there? I want to know when that was put on this car. How long it's been on the car. That's something else. Thank you guys so much for being here today and being patient with me as well. Well, I know you're confused, but I don't want to make it worse. That's the problem. I'm trying to help you guys get unconfused and help us all understand some of this. If I went into that house to rent it, I'd pass because it gets weird. It does. Well, that's a lot of the roommates stated stuff like that, I guess. I don't know what it is. There's something about it that's just, it's a weird looking house. I'm not comfortable with the way it's set up or any of that. So I don't know. Thank you, Willie. Appreciate you. Hold on. We're holding on. I'm holding on. What am I holding on to? If you got some time in a bit, I'd love to have you up. Oh, yeah. If you're going live, sure, I'll join you, buddy. You always know I will. Adios, Mancini. Guys, in the chat, thank you guys so very much. You know, I love and adore each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys so very much. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. I come back here every single day for you guys. And we'll continue to do that endlessly. And I hope that I provide the best I possibly can for you. That's very important to me. That can't be Farley because Farley was transferred too late after his arrest. And thank you, Lucy, for straightening that out earlier. My apologies for making that statement. I had just heard another story and believed that it was correct that person put it out because they had factual information on it. So that's my fault, and I'm sorry for that. I can make a promise from here forward. I will make sure to double verify things to ensure that what I'm stating, because I definitely don't want to ever put out misinformation to you guys. That's not fair to you. We already have enough of that. And it's also, it just makes it way more compute. We're already answering. We already have too many questions that aren't getting answered, and they're being answered with more questions, and you don't need any more. So I'm sorry for that. In the docs that were released, there was a picture of Brian's car after he changed his plates. Where is that picture located? I don't know, Tomboy. We were trying to find that before, and I don't know where that is. Social, it's good to see you. I didn't even know you were in here. Thank you for joining us today. Sandra, it's great. It was great to see you. Annie Ruler, Tonka, thank you for being here. We will have to find that. When are you going live, buddy? If we can put Willie's link in here, not that he needs, everybody will be there anyway, but make sure you guys go over and check Willie out. I will be there as well. I don't know about that, but I try to make them as best I can. I promise you I do, Social. All right, guys. Oh, I know. That's why I'm. Yes, and you have no idea how appreciative I am of you, Lucy. I hope you do know that. I hope you do. 10 minutes. Okay, cool. Guys, through Willie's link in. Oh, you already did. SRB, of course she did. She's awesome. Guys, jump on over to the Truth Nation Uncensored. Show some love to Willie here. And support, please, if you will. Join the rest of us that will probably just be moving right on over there. And I'll see you there, guys. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other. Don't change a thing. You guys are the beautiful people. I'll see you at Willie's, and then I will see you back here later on this evening, folks. Have a great rest of your day. Much love, everybody. Bye-bye. And yes, please, 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 please sub to Lucy Morningstar's channel. I promise you, if you want facts and you want the real deal, you will not be disappointed. It's under the name Heather Fitzgerald too, but please go check it out if you will. I promise you. I promise you, it will mean the world to me. I want to see as many people supporting her as we can get. And that goes for all the rest of these creators as well that are coming in and out of here. I really love these guys. They do amazing things. So go check them out, folks, if you will. I'll see you guys real soon.
Story soaked in guilt and crime. They go search the steam. Blood on the menu, coffee served blacker than a night raid. Knives out, silverware sharper than a switchblade. Cops on the block, sniffing scents like a bloodhound. Sharp minds drawn where dreams get gunned down. Orders come quick, whispers in the steam rising. Crooked deals, blue truth drowning, no compromise in this cafe and quaint. It's a scene out of nightmares. Lugs clink, but the sounds laced with despair. True crime cafe where secrets spill like cream. Every sip a confession, every cup a scream. Tables hold stories soaked in guilt and grime. Dago serves the brew, murders keep the time. Menacing the code, specials written in blood. Today's dish, betrayal, served with a grudge. Dago in the back, flipping pancakes with a saw. Bullet holes in the walls, paint a mural that's dark. Customers in shadows, faces blurred like a dream. Conversations and whispers, plotting schemes unseen. This ain't your local diner, this is Hell's Canteen, where your last meal's a latte and regrets the cream. True crime cafe where secrets spill like cream. Every sip a confession, every cup a scream. Tables hold stories soaked in guilt and grime. Dago serves the brew, murders keep the time.